night into night, knowing the price. Pay it off with my life, till it's out with your lights. Do it all for the Christ, and he ain't playing nice. Knew the end from the start. Fix your face like it's art. The sons of a simp, call them Bart. Yeah, you did your best, played your part. But now it's time to cut you to the heart. If that's on occasion, it's the strangest of the salvation. You see it, believe it, amazing. Them chariots coming invasion, since the creation. War, mine, Lord, bless the general. Greatest nation, eat them unequivocal. Bombs dropping, buddy, cause it's biblical. Start shit, now it's time to finish. Whoa. Said he won't vote, he looking for smoke. So, we give him some more. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. It's the end of the world. And the beginning of ours. It's the end of the world. And the beginning of ours. It's the end of the world. And the beginning of ours. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. It's the end of the world.
I can't wait for our kingdom to start and for there to be finished. Get rid of all of their idols and lying religions. Look for the crown like an Edris. Hey, this that crown talk. Wisdom of Solomon 5 talk. This that second Edris 6 and 9. We want eyes talk. It's your time to end and my time again. It's our time to win. Away with the sin. You know what it is. Rejoice with my kin. See, that is why we repented. Golden streets, I can see myself in it. The city is bright, the kingdom of light. A wonderful sight past the angels, the inner light. I need 1,000 years of labor. Sit on my throne with my savior. Try to know why Prince alone. He bring pain like Major. You think the nations is equal to us? T.K. Kirkland, who raised you? Flex on occasion, my God a racist. That's why we moving with patience. It's been a long time coming. I spent my whole life running. Now that I'm 10 toes down and established my faith on 100. Woe to the nations, my king will race them. You know they gotta be punished. Jeremiah 25. Yeah, you know they gon' fry. Whoa. Said he won't vote, he looking for smoke. So, we give him some more. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. It's the end of the world. And the beginning of ours. It's the end of the world. And the beginning of ours. It's the end of the world. And the beginning of ours. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. It's the end of the world.
Check.
There we go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shalom. Most High name Christ bless you all. Yes, we are back. The Nehemiah squad. We're going to reintroduce ourselves. I am Captain Zaccai.
Hey, it's Officer Shill, Officer Judah.
Okay. Hey, put that thumbnail back up again. Please put that thumbnail back up. All right. So the name of our show today is How Joining a Greek Sorority Pulled Me Away from God. How joining a Greek sorority pulled me away from God. All right. And our special guest is Mistye Nicole Quinn. Before we bring her out. Yes. A round of applause is necessary. Give us some more of that, though. Give us some more of that.
Show
applause.
some love, man.
Yeah.
Y'all show some love.
Hit the ball!
And act like y'all know some better.
Right. So remember last year, right? Last year, we did a show and brothers were on from the fraternities and they were saying why they would not leave a fraternity. Y'all remember that show? Yeah. All right. And I heard one of the brothers who came on, he's actually in some real trouble right now for a hazing incident. Right. So we're not going to blow it all up like that, but he got some real issues right now. So something with hazing happened in one of the schools down in the South. So he's dealing with that. But those brothers were saying why they would never leave. All right. So this sister's saying why she had to leave because she had to get back to God. Right. So watch this. Before we bring her out, play the beginning of video number 2. We're just going to take a little bit of that.
What I'm telling you is when you find out that these organizations take the holy scriptures out of the Bible, and they change the scriptures, they change the word of Jesus Christ, they change out our Lord and Savior, and they change it out with the name of the organization, with the name of the fraternity, with the name of the sorority. Delta literally does this, and these people have to read this aloud. They're not praying to God.
They smile white.
All right, hey, stop right there. Stop right there, right? So drop that for a second. He said Delta does this, right? And this is the sorority that our sister's coming out of, right? Let me read a little bit of this, a little bit of her bio. It says, after spending half of her life, 2 decades in Delta Sigma Theta sorority, Mistye has found the courage to finally publicly renounce and denounce her membership and to break every vow, oath, pledge, and covenant made in order to rededicate herself wholly back to God, right? And also, she's in her final semester, Doctor of Ministry student, studying to become a licensed pastoral counseling therapist. All right. She's also a student counselor under supervision, providing free counseling services to those in need, along with an undergrad degree in child and family studies and a master's in Christian studies. All right. So now let us bring out our sister. Sister Misty, where you at? There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, sis, what's going on? Hey, we can't hear her. Somebody put her volume up.
All right, can you all hear me?
Oh, there you go. There you go. How you doing, my sis?
I'm doing great. How are you all doing?
Oh, we doing great. We doing great, sis. Good to see you. All right. So talk to us. When did you realize? Well, you know what? Let's go from the beginning. When you got to college, right? Or did you make this decision before college that you were going to join a sorority, right? Because like many of us, like I'm about to date myself, but I seen School Days, right? When I seen School Days by Spike Lee, I must have been, I don't know, I was a little young, but I was like, hey, I can't wait to go to college. I'm joining a fraternity. But by the time I was ready to go, I didn't join the fraternity. But sometimes that kind of thing has us wrapped up and, you know, very impressionable. So how did it happen for you, sis?
So I didn't have any interest in a sorority when I went to University of Tennessee in Knoxville. I just wanted to go to school, whatever. I wanted to be an interior designer. And then my biological big sister, she pledged Delta. And so I was like, well, I see how popular it is and see how cool they look.
Right.
And I was trying to follow my big sister's footsteps. So I wanted to be an AKA because I like the color pink, simply because I like the color pink.
Right.
So when when my sister pledged Delta, I was like, I want to follow my big sister's footsteps. So I put all my pink clothes. I love to wear all pink and everything. I put all my pink stuff in a big old suitcase and I gave it to my sister and said, I'm ready to be a Delta now. So I really had no interest until my big sister pledged the sorority.
Right. Okay. And then once she pledged, what made you say, okay, you know what? And I understand, big sister, cool, you want to follow, but it has to be something in there that made you say, this looks like it could be something. What did she explain to you that it was going to be, in other words?
Well, I think it was just maybe seeing like them at parties and seeing how all the girls would fawn over them and all the guys would fawn over them. And I was like, okay, this is how I can get a lot of attention. You know, I'm a little shy. I was very shy in high school. So, okay, I can kind of get popular this way and meet cute guys this way and get popular this way. So seeing how people at UT Knoxville responded to the Deltas, it made me want to join, even apart from just my sister being a Delta. Right.
Okay, so now you go through the process. Now talk us, how does that work? You want to join, but you're not automatically in it, right? For the people who never went through a sorority or just seen it in the movies like myself, right? What exactly happens once you get there and say, hey, I want to pledge?
Okay, so first, you know, when you're a freshman in college, they have what they call, you know, like kind of meet the Greeks. So University of Tennessee at Knoxville is a predominantly white institution. So, you know, it's not a lot of black people that were going there at that time. And so all the black people, we would meet the Greeks, and you would meet all the Divine Nine organizations, and they would introduce themselves, and you would kind of, you know, you may go to an interest meeting, and then you would do the application process, get a referral letter, write your application, send it in. And then if, like, let's say, for example, 200 girls applied, you know, it's a very selective process. So usually if you knew somebody who's in Delta, you would get in easier. So because my big sister was in Delta, that's probably the only reason I probably got in, because I knew somebody who knew somebody. Right. And also the person with my reference letter, she was actually the illustrator for their national magazine. So because of who I knew, that was probably why I got in.
Right. Right. Okay, so this is the Divine Nine, right? So that's listen, I can't go through all of them, but I think people, if y'all know the Greek letters, y'all know that's I think the first was Alpha, Theta, Alpha.
Alpha Phi Alpha.
Alpha Phi. Okay, hey, you knock them out for us, sis.
Okay, Alpha Phi Alpha, Alpha Kappa Alpha, Kappa Alpha Psi.
Wow.
Omega Psi Phi, Delta Sigma Theta, Phi Beta Sigma Zeta, Phi Beta, Sigma Gamma Rho, and Iota. I'm not sure, but the last one is not very popular. Iota Theta, Iota. I don't know the last one.
Yeah, they just that's the group that nobody likes.
That's the group that nobody likes.
All right. So now, okay, you pledging. what are they asking you to do? Now, based on what we just saw in that video, right? The brother was saying that they would take certain things out of the Bible and then replace it with the name of Delta. I don't know if he was saying that correctly or maybe he's a little misinformed, but what did he mean by that?
Okay, so I'm not sure if the other 8 had this in their book, but our sorority had a ritual. We called it a ritual book, which is kind of interesting. Why would you call a Christian organization have a book called Ritual?
Right.
So in our ritual book, they had different, like songs, prayers, things you would recite. And so, like for 1 Corinthians 13, for example, they may say, I can't remember because it's been like so long, but it may say something like, but the greatest of these is Delta. That's just an example, something in my, I can't remember if that's what it said, but the greatest of these is Delta. So that's just one, it was kind of like, okay, this is interesting because I grew up in church. And so I knew, I was like, okay, this is kind of weird. Why are they, the Bible word of God should be, left alone. It's a closed canon. And so it was kind of weird that they were doing that. And I was actually the chaplain of my sorority. So I was more, reading certain things from the ritual book and everything. And so there is that. But before we even got to the ritual book, first you're a pyramid, which is before you become a Delta. So that's when you're still like an initiate and everything. And so when you're a pyramid, you don't see all this stuff in the beginning,
right?
But you do see some real rituals. Like there are some altars, there's some tables, there's some candles. There's some oaths, vows, pledges, commitments that you make. So when you think about it being a Christian organization, you're like, why do we have to do all this?
Right.
Weird stuff just to be a sister. Like I have 2 biological sisters. I don't have to do anything to be their sister other than be born to the same parents. And so it was kind of weird. I had to go through all this. And that was just the official process. So there's an official process and there's an unofficial process. The official is legal. It's understood. Everyone knows about it. But there's an unofficial process. And that's the underground hazing. And that looks different for each chapter. Every chapter does its own thing underground. It's a lot of the similar things, but no 2 chapters may have the exact same underground process.
Right. Okay. So you went through the hazing and all that. Was it super crazy or how was that?
Well, I think now the females, they don't get as much, physical violence. Now the men, they get like, they get really hurt. The men, like I would see we both freshmen coming in and I see them with casts. And,
oh, wow. Yeah.
The men would get really like, they would get physically assaulted. Like it was horrible. The women, we didn't get as bad physically.
Right.
We didn't get a lot of verbal abuse. We did some physical stuff, but it wasn't like how the men would be like physically assaulted. Right.
Because and a lot of the brothers, they wind up, some of them unfortunately die, right, from it, from certain things. Maybe they, whatever's going on. I mean, they never really come fully out and say exactly what's happening. And they don't want to do that because then the school might have to take some culpability. How does that work in regards to the school being culpable to what the sororities are doing or the fraternities? How does that work? Do they disassociate themselves from it? How does that work?
I think, well, I know like for my chapter, we had like the alumni chapter, they would come, they had like 3 advisors we had, and they would kind of help us with the official process, but they had no clue that we were doing underground process. They had no clue at all. And I don't think that they were pledged. I think my advisors, they pledged alumni. So they didn't have like a physical process underground.
Right.
So they didn't know that we had an unofficial process. So we would meet with them in the daytime. It was very strenuous official process. Then at night we would go to, different locations and we would be unofficially pledged as well.
Right.
So the school doesn't know about it. So I don't think the school could hold them accountable. But sometimes what they would do is when the school finds out that you've been, hazing, they will suspend your chapter maybe for a year or a semester or 2 years.
Right.
And I think sometimes indefinitely. So someone would have to come back in and make the chapter over again if the school finds out, especially if it gets to the point where they have to do a lawsuit. Like someone, I know it was one guy, I think he was an Omega. He had drank so much he went blind. And so sometimes when it's like really big stuff or drownings and things like that, then the school may just get rid of the chapter altogether.
Right. So it's sort of like the school is feigning ignorance, right? Because everybody knows what's going on. Like even people who's not in the fraternities and sororities, they all know that there's a hazing process, right? We all know this, the school heads, but they have to play the game. Everybody's playing until something bad happens, right? That's what we got told that as kids. Everybody keep playing until you lose an eye, right? Right. So this is just for hazing for the people who don't know what hazing is. You might be new to it, or some youngsters who don't know what's going on. This is hazing. Just read that real quick.
You want me to read it
No,
out
no,
loud?
no. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sis. No, we have a designated reader here. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Hazing involves any activity that humiliates, degrades, abuses, or endangers someone to join or stay in a group, regardless of their willingness, causing physical/emotional harm or risking mental distress.
Right.
Often through forced acts, illegal activities, sleep deprivation, or public humiliation. While sometimes disguised as tradition, it can range from forced alcohol consumption.
Right. That's what sis just brought up, saying that the brother drank so much alcohol he went blind. Go ahead.
And extreme calisthenics to social isolation, causing severe consequences for victims and perpetrators, including legal issues, academic decline, and lasting trauma.
Right. So sis, so now you go through this hazing process. Obviously, you make it, right? What? So then after that, what does the sorority do for you? Because we're of the mind that it gets you a job, it lines you up certain places, so on and so forth. What did they promise you, in other words?
Okay, so they don't necessarily like tell you like, hey, because because you're a Delta, if you go to a hiring manager, if you're a Delta, she's a Delta, you're more likely to get the job. But it's kind of understood, like if somebody, somebody comes to a job or something, you players, I players too, girl. Come on. So you're more likely to, so you kind of understand this kind of like, you have those police officers who are like Masons, whatever.
Right.
They know that if you pull over a Mason, you're not going to get a ticket. So it's kind of like understood like that. But you understand you're gonna be more popular, you're gonna be, you kind of may get into clubs for free, things like that. But this is 18, 19, 20 years old. So we're thinking like, our brains aren't even developed yet. We're thinking like kids,
Right.
And so we're thinking of shallow, simple things like this cute guy I've always had a crush on will finally pay attention to me.
Right.
I'm gonna get back at my ex. He gonna see how devastating diva I am now. So we know as teenagers, I played since I was 19.
Right.
So I wasn't thinking long term at the time.
Right.
I was thinking about popularity and stuff at that time.
Okay, so now when did it hit you that, okay, I need to get away from this now because I'm going against what God said. You know what I'm saying? I'm going against the biblical principles. When did that occur? How long after?
Okay, so I remember when I was still like an initiate, I was a pyramid, I was wearing all white, and there's just I can't say everything because Delta, they will prosecute you if you say too much.
Oh, wow.
But I remember towards the end, I was wearing all white and had to kneel before this altar, this table. There was a candle on the table. I won't say the phrase they had us to say.
Right.
But we had to read out this phrase. And for some reason, I hadn't like really stuttered since I was like in elementary school. I had a speech impediment in elementary school.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it came back. And I was trying to read through the I don't know what it was, a prayer or a commitment or a vow.
Right.
I was trying to read through it, and I had like dozens of women around me, and I was humiliated. I couldn't get through the prayer. I was like, and I feel like God was trying to stop me from saying the prayer. And only one other of my line sisters at the time, she stuttered too. And I feel like God was trying to stop us. Like, this is not me. Do not do this. But I went ahead and stuttered through the whole prayer. I was like, it was around me 67 women in the room. I was humiliated, but I got through the prayer. Right. And then I was a chaplain also. So, the chaplain has certain, duties that we have to do for the next class of initiates.
Okay, so wait, let me stop you. So you were a chaplain also?
Well, yeah, I was not as an initiate, but once I became a Delta, they made me the chaplain.
Got it. Okay.
So some more weird stuff. So we had like, when we were initiating the next set of girls, I had to read through like certain prayers, certain things I had to read out of the ritual book. And I would just start stuttering. I couldn't get the words. I was like, it's like God was making my tongue stammer so I couldn't get the words out.
Right.
And so I was like, why is he not letting me say these words? And so I knew something was off. And then I have a very nosy little sister. I call her Black Matilda. She loves to like read anything she sees. So she got a hold of my ritual book. And so she's reading through it. And she's like, Mistye, I got your ritual book and I read through it. And, and some of that stuff is saying like, it's twisting Bible verses and it sounds this weird stuff. And I don't think that's of God. And she told me how she saw this, I guess like this certain church services on YouTube or whatever. And this man was testifying about how he had like an Omega brand on his arm, and he went to the altar to repent, and he said the brand started burning, and people who had tattoos, their tattoos are burning on their skin. So I knew within the first year, I was like, something is off. Like, why would their brands burn at the altar and they repent? Why would I stutter during certain words? So I knew something was off. But at that time, I just said, I'm going to renounce all oaths, vows, and pledges. So at that point, again, I was in it for 20 years. So even the first year, I knew some stuff was off, but I just renounced of all oaths, vows, and pledges. And I thought that was good enough.
Right.
Then also, I made the party flyers. I made flyers and stuff. And so I made all the party flyers. And we weren't even supposed to have parties, but unofficially we had parties, whatever, under a different name, Devastating Divas. And so I made the party flyers, and I felt convicted about making party flyers. I said, I'm not making no more party flyers, y'all. And then also I said, as a chaplain, I said, I'm not going to haze the new girls. I said, I cannot call myself a Christian and a chaplain and haze these new girls. I said, I cannot do that. I don't want to misrepresent God to these girls. They're teenagers, they're kids, essentially. And I don't want to misrepresent God to these children. So I let my sorority know. They were upset with me. They were upset that I wouldn't make party flyers. I wouldn't go to parties. And they were upset that I wouldn't haze the new girls. But I told them, I said, I cannot misrepresent God to these girls.
Right. So, and then what was their response to that?
I remember two of them especially got mad. I won't say their names, but two of them were especially mad. One of them, she said, you call was stuttering during certain rituals. And she said, how you gonna talk about Jesus and you can't even speak? So she was kind of like mocking the fact that I had stuttering problems and stuff. And the other one, she was upset. Like, it's like they were very like, cliquey and everything. And she was very hurt because she wanted all, 26 of her lines. So it was 27 of us. And she was very hurt that, I didn't renounce the whole sorority at that point. She just was offended that I thought I was too Christian-y to go to, throw parties and to haze the girls. So I think they felt a little convicted because me taking a stand, it kind of reflected to them that they weren't taking a stand.
One thing we always look at, right? Because with the fraternities and sororities, our people are known as the Black Greeks, right? Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much what they call themselves, the Greeks, the Black Greeks. In the scriptures, right? Our people were the Black Greeks then, right? A lot of people don't know that, right? When you go into the Bible and it says rather Jew nor Greek, right? Mm-hmm. The question is, how come the term Greek is being used for everybody, right? Because people would say Greek just means everybody. But the reason it kind of does mean everybody, but everybody who was amongst Rome and stuff at the time. Why? Because they became a citizen of that place. Right. So our people who were there, we also became citizens of the place forcibly. And then we were now called Greeks. Right. So it's crazy that now we would come back and then say, oh, we're the Black Greeks, when at that time that was more of like a slavery thing. Our people have a tendency to always go back to the slave master, But before I was going to read you something. Matter of fact, give me that thing in Maccabees real quick. I just want to read that to her, right? I want to read you something because it's important to get this stuff out, because not just yourself, but others are saying, hey, you know what? We want to separate ourselves from this thing because we want to get back to God, right? Knowing that something is wrong here. They're saying it's Christian, but it ain't really Christian, right? Like we'll bump into people, like even like you brought up the Masons. Let's say we have conversation with me. You know people who say they're Masons, but they never want to talk. Like you talk to them about stuff, they're like, oh, nah, we can't talk about what? I'm not asking you anything crazy. Like, what is the 31st degree? Like, we ain't having them kind of conversations.
Right.
We just want to know what is the point of it all? Like, you know what I mean? And they never want to talk. So it's like, it's something weird because you should be able to speak about it. You know what I'm saying? Like openly, like you said, Delta Mate, they may sue if you say too much stuff against them because you hurting their brand, so to speak, right? You didn't say that. I'm saying that, Delta. I'm saying it, not her, right? Mm-hmm. That the brand may be hurt, right? But watch this real quick. Check this out.
1 and 41.
Start at verse 1, just so she got to understand what we read.
First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 1. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim.
Right. So what we're reading about now is Alexander the Greek, right? Or Alexander the Great, as we all learned in school, right? Mm-hmm. So that's in the Bible. It's just in a part called the Apocrypha. So it has him in there because this is the beginning of when the Greeks took over. They knocked off Persia, Medes, and then they became the head at that time. They started to run the world, right? Go ahead.
Who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes,
right?
That he reigned in his stead the first over Greece,
right?
And he made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth.
Right. So he slew all the kings of the earth. He took over, right? That's why they call him Alexander the Great, because he became the ruler, right? Jump down to verse where evils were multiplied. Where's that at?
Verse
that's
verse 11.
11, right? Yeah.
Verse
read that.
11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us.
Right. So now you had those people of Israel, right? The people of Israel, the Jews, right? The Israelites. They then made a compact. Well, what can you say? Confederacy, right? An agreement with him, right? Because they were tearing up everything. Now this is Alexander the Great. He already died, and you had a guy called Antiochus, right? So now they had to get with him because he was terrorizing the place, right? But this is what we want to show you. Look at verse 41. You can jump now.
Verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
Right. So this is when democracy started, right? All should be one people, right? So now whoever was, all those places that he was over, they all had to do what? They had to be democratized under the Greeks. So now they're being called the Greeks pretty much. Watch this. Go ahead.
And every one should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
Go ahead.
Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion.
Right.
And sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath.
Right. And they profaned the Sabbath. So they no longer kept the Sabbath day. Right. They didn't do anything the Bible was talking about anymore because they had to follow this man.
Right.
Right. So now jump to 48.
Verse 48. That they should also leave their children uncircumcised.
Right. So no more circumcision for the boys. Go ahead.
And make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation.
Go ahead.
To the end they might forget the law.
Right.
And change all the ordinances.
Right. So they would forget the Bible. That's the whole point. To put that away now and follow behind the Greeks. Go ahead.
And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die.
Right. So they could no longer be known as Israelites, Jews. If you were Persian, you couldn't be known as a Persian no more. You was known as a Greek. Right. But right now we just focusing on our people who was there. They became the Greeks. So now when I see today a lot of our people, right, and they were eating pork and doing all the stuff the Bible said don't do, they said to do.
Yeah.
Right? And then our people followed it. So when we look today at the fraternities and sororities, it's similar. Our people are going back to the slave master because that's what we have to get our minds freed from that garbage. You know what I'm saying? And we know it's a lot of decent people within the frats and sororities. We know them. We know people. You know what I'm saying? They went through it. They're not understanding what they're doing at the time. You're one of the few people, to be honest with you, that actually says, you know what? I got to leave this alone. This ain't right. Because even, hey, listen, I want to, okay. Even some people we know personally, they didn't fully drop it. You know what I'm saying? They didn't fully, they said, oh yeah, you know, I can see where's a, but they didn't really say, okay, you know what? I'm denouncing it. They didn't say those words. You actually saying those words, right? But yeah. I want to get back to you, sis. So now once you do that, what made you go on, and I'm going to say a crusade, right? Because you putting yourself out there. Because you could have just been like, all right, I'm not dealing with it no more, cut your people off and just go on with your life. But what's making you come out now and say, no, it's important for the people to know this? Like, why you feel
I feel like, I think I went to y'all's website to look up, to look up your organization. So yes. I know you all quoted Leviticus 5:1.
Yeah. There you go. Very good.
And so, and it's like, Missy, you're one of the few people that actually can speak to what you've seen and heard behind the scenes. And right. It's like, people need to know that this is problematic. Right. And I know there's so many young women, follow behind me. A lot of young men was like, oh, I want to be in that. I want to be in there because she dating a guy who's in that or she's in there. And so I realized so many people, how people say the disrespect was public.
Yes.
You need to apologize publicly. Right. Like I think when they arrested, was it Peter or Paul? And it was like, he was like, no, you all beat me up in public. I want y'all, I'm a Roman, I'm a Roman citizen. You all need to, the respect needs to be public. So I feel like the way you come in, like I probated on my red letters and I was shouting and hollering, screaming in front of hundreds of people. I felt like I need to do the same thing. Everybody I misled.
Right. Okay. Yes.
And I'm gonna go viral with it. I led people astray, and I repent of this. And I was reading the Acts the other day about how the people that they confess and they brought they confess and divulge all their secret practices and they brought their books and
right.
Yeah, actually plan on like doing like a burn. I actually found my car. I'm actually gonna do like a burn. I'm gonna burn all my material. I'm gonna do like a little bonfire, put myself in there and publicly burn it. So I feel like I need to the respect needs to be public, just like the disrespect was public. That's and right. So and then like I said, I don't know how many people are going to follow behind me. Like I have a cousin, And because my big sister's in it, I have a little cousin who's saying, I want to be a Delta because, my big sister's a Delta. And I said, oh my gosh, like, me, I was able to get into it and I got out of it after 20 years by the grace of God. But I said, some people are not going to get out of it. Some people I led into it, they may never get out. They may die in it. They may never get out. They may leave their girls, their granddaughters, their great granddaughters. And so I feel like it's not just a my generation thing. It's generations after me. I have a niece. She may want to do it because I did it. So I want to make sure all my cousins and nieces and everybody knows that I'm making a break from this and that I do not endorse this. And they, like you have to have singleness of heart. You can't, no man can serve two masters. You've probably heard people sing, I pledge all of my love and peace and happiness. Right. I'm going to give it to fill in the blank. And it's like, I done told everybody I'm gonna give all my love, peace, and happiness to this organization. I gotta tell them and give all my love, peace, and happiness to Jesus Christ. So I feel like you kind of have to undo the damage that I did for 20 years. That's a long time. That's a lot of witness I did to lead people astray for 20 years. And I can't just go in private and say, I renounce Delta. Like that's so lame to sit there and lead hundreds of girls astray, and then I privately leave at the back door, and I get saved, and I'm good, and they're still going, to perdition. That's not right.
No, that's excellent. That's an excellent answer. And what you just brought up, that was in Acts 19. It's beautiful that you brought that up because there's something in here about the Greeks. This is excellent. Get that real quick. Acts 19 and 17. Watch this.
Acts chapter 19, verse 17. And this was known to all the Jews and Greeks also dwelling at Ephesus.
Right. The reason they're saying the Jews and the Greeks is because you had the split of Israel, right, where you had the northern and southern kingdom. So the kingdom of Judah, which is the Jews, they were the southern kingdom, and the kingdom of Israel was the northern kingdom. They were put away because they went against the Lord so badly. They was dealing with so much idolatry that God said, you know what, I'm just getting rid of y'all. So they were no longer really looked at as Jews anymore. They were just like the Gentiles at that point. So that's how come now they're being called the Greeks. So that's how come they said the Jews and Greeks also dwelling at Ephesus, because this is who Paul was really dealing with, was the Greeks, or the Israelites that weren't keeping any commandments or weren't doing anything anymore. That's what he was dealing with. Right? But go ahead, read that.
And fear fell on them all, and the name of the Lord Jesus was magnified. Mm-hmm. And many that believed came and confessed and showed their deeds.
Right, go ahead.
Many of them also which used curious arts.
Right.
Brought their books together. Right,
those curious arts, that's the witchcraft books.
Yep.
And all that, right? Dealing with all different type of idolatry. That's what they were bringing forth. Go ahead.
And burned them before all men.
That's what the sis was saying, that she might have to do like a little bonfire and get rid of all of the Delta stuff just to get it out of there, right? Because that's why they did. They could have left them books alone but what? They don't want nobody else touching them. That's why sis was saying she had to put herself out there to make sure that what the wrong she feels she did, she had to now, at least those people could see her writing herself, and then they could say, okay, well, she saw this was wrong. And everybody does pay attention to things like that and say, damn, she cared enough to come out and say something. People do recognize those things. Go ahead, finish that up.
And they counted the price of them and found it 50,000 pieces of silver.
Meaning they had a great cost to those books, but they still burned them because they gave a damn about somebody. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is for you, my sis. You know what I'm saying? You showing that love to the people, you know? So moving forward, let's say in regards to your, and brothers, if y'all want to jump on it and you want to ask a question, please, to your sorority sisters, are you still in contact with them at all? Or are they angry with you? Like, how you rolling with that?
I think the only reason they may not have, come at me is because my big sister is still in Delta. So I think that's only protecting me. I don't think restraining them is like, you don't want to offend our sorority sister or, her big sister. So I think that's probably one reason they've not really said anything.
Right.
But fortunately, what gave me the courage to leave also, it was 3 younger girls. They renounced in my chapter. So because they had the courage to leave, it gave me the courage to leave. And one of my actual line sisters has renounced since I renounced. And so I say, Mrs. It's taking a vacate. Somebody has to start it, somebody has to start and the momentum will get to rolling. So far of my chapter, I know for sure 5 have left, and it's been around since 1975. So that's a long time. Wow. That's 50 years. And it's been around for long. Actually, since 1975. So it's been a long time since the chapter has been on campus. So 5 girls out of all those years. So I think it's taking momentum. I think I'm sure there are some of them. I had did a podcast before when I first left, and one of them was in the comment section saying that didn't happen to me. That's not the case for me. But I think no one's really said anything because they know I know what they know. Like you can't question what I experienced. I was there. I did it. I was there with you.
Right.
So, but I'm not really close. I'm kind of close to one of them, like on social media, but I don't really talk to them anyway because I was kind of pulling away anyway.
Right.
So no one's really checked me on it. One person asked me about it, another one left since me, another one still talks to me as a friend. But that's because we had a process. I mean, we had a process. We had a trauma bond. We went through something together. So I care about them as souls, but but my loyalty, is towards my loyalty is for Jesus. And so, it's like if you find that you did something like people who people who marry in the wrong lifestyle.
Right.
Once they realize they're in the error, they don't just sit there and say, well, I don't want to offend him or her. You just be like, this is a farce. I'm out of here. I don't owe anybody an explanation. I don't owe anybody an apology. This is wrong. And so you don't have to really get permission to obey God once you realize that you have been deceived. And I realized that they were deceived as well. They were deceived as well. So I just pray, like it took me 20 years to leave. Then how can I judge somebody who's been there? Like, for example, William Murphy, the gospel singer, and then Fred Hammond, they recently pledged. And it's like, well, Mistye, it took you 20 years to leave and you knew the first year was wrong. So I just pray that everyone else, that God gives them an expedited path to get out before it's too late.
Right. Y'all have some?
That was interesting that you said like certain gospel singers are in sororities and sororities and frats and or whatever, So the correlation, like you feeling a thing with God, you know what I'm saying? You know that it's wrong to do so, So where do you think that other people in Christianity think it would be okay to join a sorority or a fraternity?
You said, why do I think other people think it's okay? Your audio's a little, I can't really hear you too well. You said, why do I think other people think it's okay?
Yeah. In a Christian church, why would somebody in Christianity be drawn to a fraternity or a sorority?
I think it's a lack of identity. You would think that, Fred Hammond, I listened to him since I was a child. And it's like, Fred Hammond, you've been around singing all these songs for you. Why are you in your 50s, 60s playing a fraternity?
Right.
And I think sometimes it's a money thing. Like sometimes their ministries aren't as successful. They have to play as a fraternity. I'm not sure if William Murphy's church is doing too well, but he had to join a fraternity to get connections. But I'm kind of like, at 50, you should, like at 19, 18 years old, you may not know who you are. Your brain's not developed yet. But it is kind of alarming when you see like people in their 50s and 60s pledging fraternities as if, you know who you are. You know who you are. You don't have to get identity from this. It is kind of alarming, and I feel like they only do it because other people are doing it.
Wait, hold on, Mistye. I think we missed something. You saying that they pledging at this big age of 50-something years old? What?
Big grown age.
I thought I heard that the first time, but I'm like, okay, maybe they getting out of it. Wait a minute. So this big age, they want to try to go ahead and get some kind of connections, like you said. Maybe they trying to fill up the church. Maybe they trying to, because it got to be something. Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think Fred Hammond plays this year, and I think I'm the song "Praises What I Do." William Murphy, he plays Omega, and he didn't do like an alumni chapter. He was doing like the whole the process locked up and all this stuff. So William Murphy, that's like praises what you do, but you're over here for fraternity. Like he had his probate and everything online. But then if you like, I think
I seen that, brother. You know what? I thought he was already in there, and he was just going back to hang with them or something like that. You saying that was him actually pledging at that time?
He just recently joined.
Oh.
Wow.
Come on, man.
And I think you see like popular pastors like Pastor Darius Daniels, and I think he's in Atlanta. I think and you got Jamal Bryant's a Kappa.
Yeah.
He's over in his crutches. Pledge for President Sigma in crutches.
Come on,
Fred Hammond there. And so, but I think when you see people like, well, Darius Daniels, he's a Kappa, and, Jamal Bryant, he's a Kappa, and his first lady is an AKA. And I think I think they only feel comfortable doing it once they see somebody that they respect doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like Travis Green, he's a gospel singer. He renounced Kappa because God convicted him in undergrad. You made a way, Travis Green. So people are, they Lecrae, the gospel rapper, he's Kappa. Eric Mason, he's Kappa. So I feel like people only feel comfortable doing it once they see somebody else they respect doing it. And so I think it's important for, people who are like high up in society, like, even like Kamala Harris, who's an AKA, if she were to renounce, I think so many AKAs would renounce because they saw somebody who was high up there.
Yeah.
So I think leaders have to be a template, I think the template always gets copied. And I think God was for me like, I don't want people copying off of you because you have a mar on your copy, like you copy a sheet of paper. Everything on the template gets into the copy. So I think God was like, Miss, I need you to get out of this, that when people follow you, they won't have this imprint of Greekness on them.
Right. And that's the thing, right? Because as a pastor, right? And we sit down with a lot of pastors, right? And some pastors, they're not very receptive, but they sit down with us, right? And they're not very receptive because they have they have an agenda, right? They have something that they're doing. We going strictly with the Bible. They got other things going on. We sat down with one pastor, and he told us one time, he said, well, listen, I understand what y'all saying. It makes sense what I'm reading here. The problem is that a lot of pastors, they're all about the money, right? Mm-hmm. And what y'all are showing, it might make the masses leave, right? And so therefore, that's not going to work out for them. Now, he's a Christian pastor. He's talking to us just straight up. So what you're saying makes sense because they have to be doing that for some kind of reason. You're not going to be 50 years old, 50-something, 40-something, and then deciding to join that for no reason. Right. Here you got Kamala Harris. She ain't even really black. Mm-hmm. Right? Oh, wait a minute. And you do have to be black to join these sororities and fraternities, or no?
Yeah, I think they're opening up. I think even Delta. I think they even let like a transgender in. I think.
Damn. Whoa.
Recently, I think Delta did. So they're letting in different races.
So I guess it don't matter. Wow. I guess it don't matter once you once you're a transformer, it don't matter. Hey, we're gonna get messed up for that. Hey, listen, we're gonna have a problem with that. Somebody edit that out. All right. Okay. But yeah, that's super crazy. But look at this. Hey, show that. We're gonna show you this quick video, sis.
Can I?
Yeah. Jump on that, please.
Watch this. Give me the reason that they pledge, right? They don't pledge for no reason. That's what you were just saying. And the scripture that come to mind when you say that is Isaiah 28 and verse 15. Read that.
Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 15.
Come on.
Because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death.
The covenant is the same covenant that Cap read in Maccabees 1 and 11. That covenant, when they say they made a covenant with the heathen, Scripture calls that a covenant with death. Go ahead.
Right.
And with hell are they at agreement.
And with captivity, they at agreement. They fully submerged. They fully with the slave master. Come on.
When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us.
It shall not come. That's why they do it, because for comfortability. When bad times happen, it won't happen to us because we made a covenant with these people. We made a covenant with this fraternity. We made a covenant with this false god. Come on.
For we have made lies our refuge.
They have made what?
Lies our refuge.
Come on.
And under falsehood have we hid ourselves.
And under the falsehoods of these religions, under the falsehoods of these fraternities, people hide themselves so when stuff really hit the fan, it won't really hit them. Mm-hmm. As a whole. Come on.
Verse 16. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I lay in Zion for a foundation, a stone, a tried stone.
Come on.
A precious cornerstone.
It says, therefore, I'm going to set up Christ in Zion. Go ahead.
A sure foundation.
It is going to be a sure foundation. Come on.
He that believeth shall not make haste.
And he that believeth in this tried stone, this foundation that the Most High going to set up, they will not make haste to leave it. Come on. Watch this.
Judgment also will I lay to the line, and righteousness to the plummet.
Come on.
And the hail shall sweep away the refuge of lies.
And the hail shall sweep away the refuge of lies. So everything, all of the lies that they've been told, that we've been told, like it's saying Deuteronomy 33, they all gonna be made liars, and the truth is gonna come out. Come on.
And the waters shall overflow the hiding place.
Come on. And the waters is the understanding, the law. It's gonna overflow everything. Come on.
And your covenant with death shall be disannulled.
So the Most High said he gonna disannul that covenant regardless.
Right.
That's getting up out of there. Right. Why? When the people turn their lights on and they see that Christ is that sure foundation and they're not running from it, that covenant with death is gonna be disannulled. Come on.
And your agreement with hell shall not stand.
And it's not going to stand. It's not. The Most High don't care about that agreement. He don't. Come on.
Right.
When the overflowing scourge shall pass through,
Come on.
then ye shall be trodden down by it.
And when that when that scourge do come through, if you don't want to leave and you don't see what's going on and you don't follow suit with what Christ is talking about, that sure foundation, you're gonna be trodden in it. You're gonna die with the with your belief. Right. So at the end of the day, we gotta see these things. We gotta see the train coming and move out the way. Mm-hmm. You know, right. It's a train coming. They got a light on it, and he pulling the horn like this here.
Yeah. No, but that's beautiful because we have to be a people again, right? Because the whole thing is divisive at the end of the day, right? Getting into the frats and okay, well, I'm with this, so I'm like, it's sort of like the bourgeoisie, right? You know, that's really what it is, trying to be that different type of black. You know what I mean? But we got to be as one. You're always going to have, like the scriptures say, that's what Christ said. You're going to have the poor with you always.
Always.
Right? You're always going to have the poor. You're going to have some rich. You're going to have some middle. But we need to be a unit. Right. Right? When we looked at, and sis, you know about this already. You got Tulsa, right? You got the Black Wall Street in Tulsa. But there was all over the United States, there was that stuff. There was Black Wall Streets per se, right? Neighborhoods, black neighborhoods that was submerged underwater, right? Turned into ponds and
parks.
Right, and parks, destroyed our people because we worked better together and alone, right? We just look at, and we just taking something carnal, like just say the Negro League, for instance, right? The Negro Leagues, we were doing perfectly all well by ourselves. All the players were great. And what did they do? They said, you know what? Let's start taking some of them into the major leagues. Why? Just because they wanted great players? That was one part, but the other part was to stop us from being together. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole thing, right? But let me show you something real quick, sis. This is kind of funny. This sister, she's in the sorority, and she remains in it. And she got a message for all of those who want to leave the sorority, right? Go ahead.
I just want to say that nobody cares that you're denouncing. Like, stop posting about it. We do not care because you did not know Jesus before you joined your org. That's your problem. Okay? So sorry you didn't have that experience. You didn't know who God was. Happy that you found him now. And now you just, it's demonic. It's demonic. Girl, we give back to the community. You're never going to make me feel bad and feel like I'm not doing God's work when I am literally giving back to my community. How is that demonic? Please let me know. Because y'all get so stuck on undergrad and the strolling and the parties and stuff. When you're a part of your org, that's a lifetime commitment. You think we doing that once we graduate? No. You get into the real business. You're giving back to your community. We're on committees to talk about different initiatives that we can create to make the community better. And you're going to make me feel bad like I'm doing demonic things because I want to get back to my community and be around like-minded people while doing it.
Tell you what's up, everybody.
All right.
I got something for her.
Hold on, drop that. So, sis, she says that she's giving back to the community through the sororities. Is that true? Not for her per se, but the sororities in general.
Some of them give back. A lot of ones that I know, they kind of it's like a socialite thing. They're not really doing anything. They may, like I volunteer, and I'm not in this where I volunteer. I just give back, I give back. Masons, Masons start up, I'm in Memphis. We have I think the St. Jude Research Hospital. You could be a Mason and start to open a hospital. They don't mean you're a Christian. You start an organization. Right. So I feel like to make it seem as if good works is Christianity, it's Muslims doing great works. They are Buddhists doing great works. So I don't think it's one and the same. I think that's just like a cover up to kind of like to cover for shame. Like I can't be bad because, and we know that it's not about, doing good works. That's not, that's like Christ and faith is what saves you as well. So I feel as if, that's just a cover up. Again, I was in for 20 years. I know what, I was a chaplain. So I was the Christian one in my sport. I actually volunteered like once a week. A lot of sorority sisters, they didn't really volunteer. They went to clubs and parties and smoked weed and drank.
Giving back to the community with drinking and dancing with tequila.
Like I was the one in Boys and Girls Club every week volunteering, and so it's not they don't do community service like you think they do. It's probably one far in between. It may be a few that do that, but they can do the exact same thing as a non-Greek. You don't have to be Greek to do community service.
Absolutely. Right. And then to answer that question, she said in the video, it said, we give back to the community, so how am I demonic, right? Give me Proverbs chapter 28 and verse 4. I'm going to show you. This is the answer that we all been waiting for.
That we all been waiting for.
Come on.
Proverbs chapter 28, verse 4.
Come on.
They that forsake the law
God say they that forsake his law, his statutes, his commandments.
praise the wicked.
You are in league with the wicked. That's your God. You praise the wicked. Come on.
But such as keep the law
But if you keep the law,
contend with them.
then you contend with the wicked. So if you're not keeping the laws of God, then you praise the wicked. You praise the unjust. You praise the people that dedicate their life to fight against the righteousness of God. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Absolutely.
And I think also, I always think to myself, you want to know who your God is, see who you rush to defend. So if I bring up Jesus and I bring up Delta, and if I run to defend, well, Delta's not bad, and Delta's a Christian organization, and Delta, I ran to my God. You defend your God.
100%.
And I feel like every time you bring up, if you bring up like their idol, like, they rush to who they defend. That's like, I speak for Jesus. If I could be Christian and all this other stuff, I'll do that. But I'm going to be Christian. And if it's already Christian, it'll be on this side with him anyway.
Right.
So I don't have to rush to defend anything that's of Christ because it's with me in Christ.
Right. And do you remember what Cap had brought out earlier in Maccabees about the Greeks was making us profane ourselves, like eat pork, not getting circumcised anymore, and all of that good old stuff. When you look at it even deeper, they still do it because they brand you. We're not supposed to be cutting into our skin.
Not at all.
And put that brand of the horseshoe back up there that y'all had up there.
What you called it, the horseshoe?
Yeah, it was a horseshoe.
I like that.
You got branded with the horseshoe. Yeah, put that up there. Let me see that again.
Man. And basically, and you know again, going back to that, because that's what we were doing. We were being branded back when we were slaves. We were being branded.
That's my point.
I know
that's exactly my point.
Yeah.
Like how you said that right there.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's insane. That's defiling yourself.
Right.
You're making yourself profane when you put that to your body.
Yeah, that's literally a law in the scriptures. And we know, and listen, sis, we understand that that a lot of modern day Christianity, they believe that a lot of the laws from the Bible are done away with, right? So when we say stuff like this, like, hey, according to, Deuteronomy, you're not supposed to have markings in the flesh, get that real quick, right? People might say, oh, no, that's old. It's not old. It's still there.
Yeah.
When you read about Christ said, I have not come to destroy the law or the prophets. Right. So that's how, that's where we go off. Little things like you see those little things. When I say little things, like a little law, right? There's bigger ones and smaller ones, obviously, right? That would be a small compared to thou shalt not kill, right? But things like that will keep you out of a fraternity for a brother. If he go in and he be like, all right, this look like a good organization. Maybe I could do some good, right? Maybe he's thinking he could do some good. But it's like, oh, yeah, you got to get this brand right here. Be like, oh, no. It's not going to happen. You know what I mean? I'm not doing that. Then I'm gone. I'm out of it. Right. But when you don't know, right, you move in ignorantly. And I mean, when I say ignorant, I mean the true meaning of the word, meaning that you don't know what's going on. Right. You might not know the scriptures like that. And then you really trying to be one with the Lord. You're going to find yourself there. But but people have to be able to pull themselves out of there. That's why it's beautiful that you're getting yourself out of there.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
Thing.
But
100%.
Yeah, some 50-something-year-old man going to climb up in the fraternity acting like a nut. He probably trying to get a young girl, too.
Probably.
Yeah.
He might as well get jumped in the gang at 50. You know what I'm saying? You way too old to be starting that. It's way too old. But the scripture I'm thinking of, right, is Exodus 20:2. This in the 10 Commandments. 10 Commandments in Exodus 20, right? Look what God say.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 2.
Come on.
I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
Yep, keep reading. I wanted 3.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
I cannot have any other gods before God. That don't mean like another God than God. You know what I'm saying? He's saying when he say before me, meaning in my sight. He said, I don't want to see you with any other gods in my sight. Right? Read on.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath.
Right. Now, keep going.
Or that is in the water under the earth.
Right. So we know what graven images are, right? But then the fraternities kick in here. Here where we start going off with God, right? Read what you got.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them.
Right. So now it's like you said, well, sometimes they make you bow before a table, might be a candle there or whatever. We not doing this in the knowledge that we're going against God. Right. We just doing it in
ignorance.
Yeah. And church told me the laws was done away with, so it's no big deal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can do this. I'm breaking the 10 commandments right here, right? Read on.
Nor serve them.
Now how do you serve that God? Right? Alpha, Omega, Alpha. What gods are these connected to? These are connected to Greek gods, right? And this is something
100%.
you're feeling in your conscience. That's why you're saying the spirit in you saying this is not right. You know what I'm saying? They connected to other gods. We in the midst of idolatry on accident, right? Read on.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them.
Now you serving them, doing strange rites, different rituals. Read.
For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me.
So if I'm serving another God, it's saying I hate the one true God.
Right.
I hate him if I'm serving other gods. He said he don't want to see no other gods in his sight. So that's what as I'm hearing these things, I'm thinking of what laws are being broken. Because I got we all up here got a Rolodex of scripture, right?
But
and I see you want to say.
But no. What you just brought out about the Greek gods being connected. Bring up number 4 because we're gonna show you something, right? Because even us, we teach that Christ is black, right? That's it is what it is. It's in the Bible, right? Christ is black. His people's black. You know, it is what it is, right? But we don't. If you ever come to any of our churches, or we call them schools, right? You're never gonna see the black Christ hung up in us all. Jesus. We never doing that.
Yeah.
And we teaching that Christ is black, and we don't bow down to any black image of Christ. All we doing is showing the composite sketch of what he might look like. Yeah. But you're never going to see us bowing down because that's against God's laws. He said, do not, you can have an image of something, but you can't bow down to that image. That's out. So just to let you know that we also following the law. We're not saying that, oh, this is again, but we can do it. No, we ain't doing it. Right? But check this out, sis. Look at it. Look at this. Y'all got that number 4? Look at that.
All right. This is Lifeline Church. Idols list of Greek gods.
Right. Get scroll so we can see them.
And make it a little bit bigger.
Please make it a little bit bigger. This guy's eyes are terrible.
I can't see all.
A young man with bad eyes. There you go.
There we go. The following false gods are attached to black Greek lettered organizations.
Right. Go ahead.
Some are shown on the crest and or mentioned in the rituals, while others are indirect connection. Organization, Alpha Phi Alpha, false god. The Sphinx, mythical creature in Egyptian, Asian, and Greek mythology.
Right.
In Egypt, it is associated with the sun god Ra.
Right. So right now, if you Alpha Phi Alpha, this is the God that you're dealing with. You're not dealing with Jesus Christ. You're not dealing with the Most High Power. No. Okay. You're dealing with Ra, the sun god. Okay. And guess what? Well, we'll get back to that a little bit later, right? And also Horus. So you're dealing with an Egyptian figure. But I want to go down to, just scroll a little bit, go to Delta. All right? Right there.
Delta Sigma Theta, Minerva, Roman goddess of wisdom and war.
Right.
Shown on crest and in rituals.
Right. So this is a goddess. This is a Roman goddess, Minerva, of wisdom and war. Right. As you can see, when you read down all of them, look at the next one, the one that Iota, that nobody knows too much about, with the bad colors. Right.
Iota Phi Theta, Centaur, Greek mythical creature, most notably known for savagery, drunkenness, and violence.
Right. Sexual violence in particular. Right. But yet this is one of their symbols. Why would an organization have something like this as a symbol? You understand? This is what our people are linked up to, sis. And it's crazy because a lot of us, we don't know. We walk in there and we don't understand.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. And this is what our people, when we were reading for you in Maccabees, this is what our people were really getting into. Once we consented over and we're dealing with the Greeks, this is what we were dealing with. right? So when you look in also in the book, I believe it's Acts 17, when Paul is dealing with all the different people and they have different understandings. That's what they were all around talking about, all their different belief systems. I'm a Greek. I'm a they believe in all this mythological madness, but yet they saying they're Christian, and that's how come it's good that you yourself pulled it. Because I don't even know, sis, did you even know about this right here?
Yeah, actually, I had to give them my card number for me to officially leave. They actually have the Minerva goddess right here on my card, my former card. And it's like, and so you're like, this is a Christian organization.
Right.
Why do we, if Jesus is
put it back up again, sis?
Lord.
Put it back up again so we can get that. There you go. Hey, y'all seeing that? Right. That's the Minerva right there.
And so, and that was, and it's like, if we're a Christian organization and like, this was an actual goddess, this wasn't just somebody we made up like last year. This is something they were actually worshiping Minerva, who's also, I think Athena was her like, they had the Greek Roman. And,
yes, exactly.
And so like so people literally worshiped a Minerva. They literally worshiped an Athena. So why would you, a Christian organization, pick a goddess for us to say, I pledge all my love and peace and happiness? So it's like, people just, you could just had, we represent wisdom and love. You could just say the word, the concept, the phrase.
Right.
But you purposely picked a goddess that people literally, like how they worship, they worship, in Ephesians, I think the Demetria, I think they worship her in Ephesians.
Yeah.
You picked the actual goddess that people actually worship.
Right.
To put over sorority. It's like, people, this, she actually stole worship from God in some period in history. And you had to put her over our sorority to continue to take worship from God. So I think that's not by accident. Again, like I said, like you all have a brotherhood. I'm not against people who are not biologically blood having a group that they come together with a common belief. I'm not saying that's wrong, but when you put an idol over it, when you have these secret rituals and altars and candles and twisting scripture, that's when it gets weird. It could have just been Christian women at a college coming together to volunteer. That'd been fine. But why does it have to be a goddess?
Right.
Letting you know, but they got that from the slave master. Right? Because the Greek fraternity, the white Greek fraternities, that's what they're worshiping.
Right.
And so our people, as we started to have schools and colleges, right? Because there was a school, my daughter had sent me something. I should have posted it, but back in DC, there was a high school called Dunbar. Now Dunbar is still around today, right? In DC. But back then, Dunbar was the top high school in like the country. Only black students. They were the best students in the entire United States of America at that time, right? Over white kids, everybody. What they did, they came in, rezoned the school, took away the funding, right? Because black people was funding the school the whole time. Then they put it under the auspices of the District of DC, of Columbia, and then they started to mess with the funding, and then they took away the great teachers, put them different places, and then you have what you have now, which is just like a regular high school, not too great, right? From that, we had those colleges. Yeah, that's it. And we had those colleges as well that were doing very. Our people were doing well in school, but they were being left out of those great jobs because, of course, we couldn't be with white people. So what did? We created the same thing as them, and then the heads of those Greek frats would be kind of cool with the white ones, and they would, have a little confederacy with, amongst, a little bit. So this way they would have the best of our people. Same thing when we got brought in slavery over here, they got the best of our people. They didn't take nobody swinging in no trees.
Right.
That never happened. They got the best. They got the engineers. They got the attorney. Well, to a degree, right? It's different type of law, but the law keepers, agriculturalists, all of that. What built America, that's the greats who they got to come. Because if they could have built America by themselves, they would have. Not only did they use us for our actual physical labor, but mentally and our ingenuity and the whole nine, right? So that's how that happened. But going into what you're talking about with Demetrius, and we got to read that thing because that was beautiful. That you went to the right places, sis. We back in Acts 19, right?
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's beautiful stuff.
Acts chapter 19 and verse 24.
Right.
For a certain man named Demetrius, a silversmith, which made silver shrines for Diana.
Right, Diana. That's the Minerva. That's the Athena. Yep. These are the different names that were being used at the time. And also, Diana here says, this is where they get Wonder Woman from.
Oh, Oh, okay.
Yeah, remember her name was Diana. That's where they got her from, Diana of the Ephesians. You know, she was of the Amazon, and they had all the women. There was no men there and all of that, right? That's where they got that from. Go ahead.
Brought no small gain unto the craftsman.
Go ahead.
Whom he called together with the workmen of the like occupation, and said, Sirs, we know that by this craft we have our wealth.
Right. They were making money off of making these different Dianas because people would buy them, worship them at home. They were making big money off of that. Go ahead.
Moreover, ye see and hear that not alone at Ephesus, but almost throughout all Asia, this Paul hath persuaded and turned away much people, saying that they be no gods.
Right.
Which are made with hands.
Right. So Paul was telling them things ain't no gods. Those are some statues y'all making with the hands. So people, because he was teaching that, people was like, yo, you right. You right about that. Go ahead, read on.
So that not only this our craft is in danger to be set at naught, but also that the temple of the great goddess Diana should be despised.
Right. So when you yourself, sis, and others are coming out, now these sororities, of course, they're not going to be fully done away with, but people are starting to be looking at them with a despising eye, like, hey, this is kind of garbage, right? Go ahead.
And her magnificence should be destroyed, whom all Asia and the world worshipeth.
Right, whom all Asia and the world worshipeth, right? Meaning what? Now, at that time, when they said Asia, they talking about Afro-Asiatic, right? Which was our people. We were there at the time. Right, throughout all Asia, I'm not saying the white people was there. Of course, white people was there, but we were there, right? Because we were under their auspices. Remember, the book of Acts is taking place way after we read that thing in Maccabees. So now our people are fully Greek. It's like today how we American and we don't know nothing about Africa, right? We don't know nothing about, and we had a show where we had a doctor, a researcher named Marie Charles. And she showed how we knew this information already, but her not being with us, it was beautiful because she unearthed it herself, that we were ruling Europe for 1,000 years, right, as the Moors. And so she brought all that stuff up, and it was great. But our people were being taken from Scotland, England, Ireland, Spain, and brought to America as slaves from Europe, not just from Africa, right? So we learning that when we read in the Bible, we see ourselves here. We have to see ourselves. We have to know that when they talking about the Greeks, they talking about us.
Right.
When they talking about the Jews, they talking about us. Yes, the other nations are there. That's true. But these specific things are talking about us. So our people were worshiping Athena and Minerva back then.
Right.
So we jump right back into it now because the people who made us do it, they knew that information. You know what I mean? So they just putting us right back into this cycle of sin and madness. You know? Was that it?
And I like that. You know how they say like no man can serve two masters. You will love and hate the other.
All praises. Yep.
And you know, and I feel like we see in that text there, Demetrius's issue is not really about the guy. He was like, you messing with my money, you messing with our income.
Right.
Making them idols.
Then he threw in the other part. Oh yeah, and also, you know, we don't want Artemis to go or Diana to go into disrepute. But really it was about money, it was about attention, it was about, you know, he was worried about his income, just like the slave girl who they cast the spirit of divination out of her. It was really about money. It's all about money, follow the money. And I feel like, and I like how at the very end it said, who all the world worshiped. So like no man can serve two masters. So once, you know, Paul and Peter and them were coming against all these different goddesses and everything, they were freed up to worship. They couldn't worship two. They couldn't worship Artemis or Diana and God. God and that. They had to pick one or the other. And so when they displaced Diana, when they displaced other goddesses and gods, it left room for them to worship the one true living God. And so I feel like you cannot worship two. You cannot pick two.
Right.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Oh, and that was the problem with what that other sister was saying. She was saying, well, how are you going to say I'm ungodly if I'm doing this or that? You mixing gods. Yeah. You mixing gods. You absolutely ungodly. Atheists do good things for people. Devil worshipers do good things. It's nice atheists, nice devil worshipers. You know what I'm saying? So you
Real
absolutely in error with the Most High when you mix. He said, I don't want no gods in front of me, right?
Yeah.
Give me Wisdom of Solomon 14 real quick. 14 and 9. This is where she in error, right? And this is where you came out of. So, you know, your spirit and you said, you know what, this is not right. This ain't right. I can't do it no more. But then you got what? I guess some of the sisters that may feel like her that would attack you, not understanding what God says. So watch this.
Bring it out.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse 9. For the ungodly and his ungodliness are both alike, hateful unto God.
So one person may say God hate the sin but love the sinner. No. That's not what the Bible say. He said the ungodly and his ungodliness is hateful to God. So if she doing something ungodly and representing God's name, he don't care about that. It's hateful to him, right? Jump to verse 11.
Verse 11. Therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles.
That's what we talking about. The Minervas, the Dianas, all the Greek gods that we were serving way in Rome, that we still serving them here today. Remember, the people that conquered us, they never lost their identity. They never lost their history.
That's right.
They never lost their memory.
Right.
We the only ones in ignorance. So they're feeding us things on purpose. They're saying, give them Greek, because they were snared with them Greek gods in the beginning. Give it to them again. Right? Read on.
Therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles shall there be a visitation, because in the creature of God they are become an abomination and stumbling blocks to the souls of men.
It's a stumbling block to the soul. So like the sister stumbling, saying, how can you call me ungodly if I'm doing this idolatry to help people? It's a stumbling block. She can't even understand that she's tripping over it. Right? Read.
And a snare to the feet of the unwise.
Jump over to verse 21. It's talking about idols, right? Watch this.
Verse 21. And this was an occasion to deceive the world. For men serving either calamity or tyranny did ascribe unto stones and stocks the incommunicable name.
Right. We shouldn't even be mentioning the names of these guys, right? Read on.
Moreover, this was not enough for them, that they erred in the knowledge of God.
They err from the knowledge of God. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Right? They err from that. Read.
But whereas they lived in the great war of ignorance.
They just don't know. We went into slavery. We lost our memory. We don't know what we're doing. Right? Read on.
Those so great plagues called they peace.
Ignorance is bliss. So they peaceful with their idolatry. They love it. They don't see nothing wrong with it. Read on.
For whilst they slew their children in sacrifices, or used secret ceremonies.
What they was using?
Secret ceremonies. Or made revelings of strange rites.
Revelings of strange rites, secret ceremonies. Don't this sound familiar?
You're right.
This sound exactly like God's telling us not to do what we're doing and praising.
Hey, don't in them sororities, if you happen to get pregnant at a party, they promote you to abort it. The children and sacrifices, just like he read. That's talking about abortions. It's crazy.
Crazy.
The Bible is a true book.
Yeah.
The Bible is a true book. The Bible. You wasn't done though. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was done with the main point is idolatry and the behavior that come with it.
Right.
Ceremonies come with that.
Right.
Strange rites come with that.
Exactly.
Ignorance of knowing what you're doing and being at peace with it. We're looking at it.
And that ties back into what you was saying earlier, sis, about identity. Because if we knew these things, then we wouldn't go down these roads.
Right.
We wouldn't drive down these one-way roads with blindfolds on.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We the only people driving down a one-way road the wrong way. All the cars going this way, but we going this way.
We're in China.
Right.
It's like,
and we ain't crashing. We going right around them and still trying to go in the wrong direction.
But go ahead, Cap. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, sis, we're going to show you a black Greek, right? Bring up that picture real quick. Now, this was the beginning of what is known as the Dark Ages, right? This man right here is called Septimius Severus. That's his name, right? That's the bust of him, right? There's different kind of busts because a lot of white people try to hide the fact that he's black, right? But we got all the books and everything showing that he's black. It's ridiculous, right? And he's actually a Jew, right? He's an Israelite because all of our people, we were there at the time. But he was one of the gladiators that became a leader, and then he became the first black emperor over Rome. After him we just started to rule Europe, period. And that's like around 400 something, I think, AD, I believe, right? Okay, there you go.
Lucius Septimius.
I was wrong at the time, but go ahead.
Lucius Septimius Severus was Roman emperor from 193 to 211. He was born in Leptis Magna, Libya, in the Roman province of Africa. As a young man, he advanced through the customary succession of offices under the reigns of Marcus Aurelius and Commodus.
Right. Hey, sis, do you remember the movie Gladiator?
I do. Mm-hmm.
Right. Remember Marcus Aurelius, right? Well, the character that Russell, what's his name? Russell Crowe?
Russell Crowe. Yep.
Russell Crowe, he's really playing a black dude.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, that's supposed to be Septimius Severus, but they changed the name, right? But that's who that's supposed to be, Septimius Severus. So then when you see Gladiator Part 2 with Denzel, right? Denzel's character is partly on Septimius Severus as well. But those, I don't know, did you see Gladiator Part 2?
Yeah, I don't know if I knew they had a Part 2.
Yes, they came out with Part 2. If you get a chance, watch it. It is pretty good, but it's lies, right? But Denzel's character is actually Septimius Severus again, because they know you don't know that Russell Crowe's character is really Septimius Severus. They don't call Denzel that in the movie, but that's who he's supposed to be. There's two white twin boys that are emperors at the time. In real life, they were his sons, black, ruling Rome. So the point is that we started to control Europe from that time all the way through into the 1400s, right? Okay, so remember when Christopher Columbus and all of that came over into the Americas, that was the 1400s. That was when our people were getting knocked off. We were getting beat. Why? Because we didn't keep the laws of God, and the Lord had to dispose of us, right? So we got taken into the Americas as slaves. We fled into the West Indies, into the Caribbean. We got books on this, like literal, these are historical records that you find in major universities and all of that, but nobody reads them. Nobody reads them, right? If y'all find any of it, just so we can show our sis, y'all can pull up whatever pages y'all need to. But we find it necessary to show you these things so that you know. Sis, have you heard of the Moors before?
Yes.
Right. So that's our people, right? So we were the Moors all the way through. We were running Britain, Germany, Russia, Spain, all of that, right? And we had went down into the interiors of West Africa as well. So that's how we wound up going into slavery from all those different places. And then what? We don't know our history. And then they covered it up. So now we just look like we some black Americans. Like we was just born in the year 1600 and something, right? Before that, where do we say? Where were you from? Oh, Africa. Where? I don't know. Let me do a DNA test.
It's the biggest continent on the earth.
Right. You do a DNA test, all they're going to do is bring you back to the DNA that most is in a particular area, but that don't really mean nothing because those particular people were up somewhere else before. So what does it really show? You know what I mean? But anyway, we wanted to bring that stuff out to you to let you know that yes, and that guy Septimius Severus, although he was an Israelite, that doesn't mean that he was keeping the law and he was a good guy. He was terrible. He was terrible, right? But the point is that's still our people. It is what it is, right? So we want to show you this book right here. This is called From Babylon to Timbuktu, right? Because we made a statement earlier that when we went into slavery that the best of us was taken, right, to build their nation, right? So this is the book by Rudolph Windsor, all right? And read that.
All right. The black Jews had an advantage over the African tribes.
Right. So it's saying here the black Jews, they talking about our people over the African tribes, meaning the Nilotic people of Africa, right, which is different than our people, right? They said that we had an advantage over them, right? Go ahead.
They carried their culture, history, laws, and written records with them.
Right.
This assured them a constant precedent for the development of a higher social organization because of the stability of the black Jewish culture. The Jews were not absorbed into the autonomous population. In fact, the Jews absorbed some of the native tribes. The Jews made use of every opportunity.
Right.
They were an industrious and skillful people. In the Jewish Ghanaian states were found kings, princes.
Right, stop. Right, in the Jewish Ghanaian states were found kings. Go ahead.
Kings, princes, governors, generals, secretaries, treasurers, revenue agents, judges, architects, engineers, doctors, historians, language interpreters, mathematicians, jewelers, sculptors, masons, carpenters, painters of art, goldsmiths, leather workers, potters, armorers, saddlers, blacksmiths, agriculturists, etc.
Right. Letting you know that we had a whole infrastructure over there. So when they came and got us, we wasn't running around in no loincloth, throwing spears around and all that. That wasn't going on. That was not going on. You remember, they mentioned Ghana there because it was known as the Songhai Empire, right? That existed because we were there. When we were not there, it was no longer around. You had Timbuktu, the actual incredible library and teaching. It was basically a humongous university and library where everybody from all over the world would come to learn. Who was running that? It was us. We had to teach the world everything. And we're not going to say sorry for that. We're saying, yeah, this is the real deal. That's why this is published in books. You don't hear anything about Timbuktu anymore. When we bring up Timbuktu to people, they think that was like a fantasy. It's like, no, there's a real place, right? Before seeing this information, I don't know if you ever heard about this before, but did you know that the Jews were in Africa like that?
Yeah, man, I heard about the diaspora and how they were, everywhere, and
right.
So I knew that everyone was dispersed.
Yes.
Dispersed everywhere, and there's even Acts about that. So
yeah, excellent, right? The Bible talks about the dispersion, right? It called it dispersed all over, right? But it's important for our people to note that the Jews were dispersed throughout everywhere, right? So in Africa, when we came as slaves, we were already the Jews there. See, when we run around and say we're the Israelite, it sounds like new. It sounds like a new religion. Like, oh, what is going on? These guys are crazy. They're all over the place. They're doing this and that. But no, we're just going back to our original thing, our nationality, our heritage. That's what it was. Yeah. The laws of God, the Bible. The white man didn't give us the Bible. Right. We already had it. What he did was he disconnected us. We couldn't read. Then he reintroduced it as his book and said, servants, obey your masters. And we're like, oh, okay, we got to obey the master. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't understand, But we just wanted to bring that out to you, sis, just so you know, because you blessing us, we got to bless you with something. So just so you know, you could talk to us personally. Because a lot of times when people see us, they think that, like, we're not personable. Like we don't have conversations with people.
Like we don't laugh.
Right. Yeah, we do a lot of laughing over here, right? But also, people look at us as very aggressive, right? But we on the street. We have to teach on the street. And on the street, we get a lot of, things get crazy on the streets. Y'all don't see it. We getting attacked and all that. So we it's a certain demeanor. But here now, it's a classroom setting. Now we're able to bring certain things out, go through the screen. You know what I mean? So it's beautiful to have these kind of conversations with sisters such as yourself and like I told you, pastors and whatnot. So what are we looking for? What are you doing now that you're putting this out there, sis? What is your we know your overall goal. Are you continuing to go on more podcasts, continuing to keep pushing? I know it says that you are getting a doctorate in ministry and things of that nature. What are you doing with that?
So I graduate, Lord said the same, May 16th. I'm doing I got to do a community project. I'm doing a community project with West Cancer Center. That's where my mom went when she had cancer. So I'm doing like a support group there, volunteering there, also with Compasses Hospice Center. So I'm trying to do like a support group for people who are losing loved ones and don't know how to really feel about that. And of course, I have my book here, Ghastly Escape of the Narcissist Pit. I wrote this book about 3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
So I'm looking forward to maybe writing a part 2. And I feel that it's so important, like talking about narcissism and things, and even as relates to sorority, being in a sorority that's hazing you and calling themselves your sister and say they love you, and then they, it's kind of like it's a gaslighting. Coming out of a denomination, I was in Church of God of Christ. Most of my childhood and everything, realizing I was gaslit. Coming out of certain romantic relationships and friendships, and you realize it's like a gaslighting across the board. So just kind of, I have a TikTok channel where I talk a lot about gaslighting and narcissism and getting free of that. So yeah, I'm just working on that, and that's what I'm doing right now.
Okay. Yeah, we actually did a show on narcissism. I think that was like one of our very first shows, and we had an actual medically. Okay, there we go. There goes sis right there holding her book. All right, it's called gaslit, and that's a term that's being used a lot. When I hear that term, I get upset because I don't know what the hell going on. Oh, you gaslighted me. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
but real talk, just going back to the narcissism thing, when we didn't really fully understand what that term, it just sounded like you calling somebody a jerk or something like that, right? Until you finally really get into it. And we had the brother, remember, he was actually diagnosed. He was literally diagnosed with narcissism. He came on the show
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah, he came. It was crazy. It was a sister. She came on too, and she was like, I guess she was kind of like, we had one therapist, and then we had somebody who was like getting over it. And as soon as he started talking, she just got off the show. She couldn't deal with it. Like
Oh, wow.
She was triggered immediately.
Yeah.
But we didn't know what was going on at the time. We thought maybe she had some kind of phone disconnection until the next day. She was like, no, I couldn't take it. This guy, he triggered me. We was like, damn, I guess you ain't over it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's rough.
It's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
It's
a real
really
thing.
real.
Yep. We've been dealing with that. The mental health is it's a serious thing. And us as a congregation, we had to take note of that. You know what I mean? Before you're like, okay, whatever, just like whatever, this person's acting like an idiot. But now you're like, wait a minute, this really an issue. And we got to, we take it very, very seriously now. You know what I'm saying? We do. So sis, I want to say thank you for your time, for coming on, and spending that time with us. We just can't find it right now. Cause are you originally from Memphis?
Yeah, I was born in Mississippi, but I was there
Okay.
for like 1 year, then been to Memphis,
Or ever
since
since?
then. I went
Okay.
to UT Knoxville for 4 years, but been back in Memphis.
Okay. Because we had some, I wanted to show you something, but we can't quite find it, where the slaves were being brought over directly into Memphis and Mississippi and what they were being called, right? We have some books that's showing them as saying the Jews being brought to Mississippi, as slaves. Like, it's literally saying those words, and it's in New Orleans, right? So I was telling the brothers, hey, see if y'all can find that. They couldn't find that one exactly, but Lord's will, if we find it, we'll email it to you. You know what I'm saying? Just so you have it for yourself. You know what I mean? And just look into it, sis. Just you doing your thing. And while you study, because we always seeking, right? Those of us who really searching out the Lord, just take a look. You know what I mean? Although we know what we look like because we have to do it like that. You know what I'm saying? The Lord said, go out there, raise your voice, right? Like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions. So we out there really doing that. At the same time, we know people looking and saying, man, these guys are super aggressive. I don't know what to say. Where's the women at? That's the next one. People say, where the women at?
I wasn't really sure. I was like, when I saw sister, I'm not sure if I pronounced her name, Cherie.
Yes.
And I was like, how they gonna receive me? I got this blonde wig on, this red lipstick. They may not even receive me and stuff. So thank y'all, been very, very kind and gracious to me. And
come on.
Thank y'all.
Yeah, of course, sis. Because you are people. You know what I'm saying? We love our people at the end of the day. And so that's what it is. Like, whoever it is, like I say, we sit down with the pastors. That a lot of times that's what happens. Even with what's my man's name? What's the brother from Atlanta? 2819 Church.
Philip Anthony, I think.
Yeah, we reached out to the brother. We said, yo, Phil, man, we want to come talk to you. And you was talking crazy about the Israelites. We just gonna come and holler at you and let you see, because again, we know what it looks like from the outside looking in. Yeah. So let us come, sit, and show you what we doing. That's why we appear angry, because we're a little angry. You know what I'm saying? Because we've been lied to. Right. We've been lied to. So we just want to show you, bro. We ain't mad at you. But everybody who's in Christianity, we trying to get y'all. Hey, y'all, wake up. Yo, look at what's going on with us. That's all we trying to do. But, he didn't want to hear that, so we had to go. Philip, we're here. You know what I mean? But my sister, hey, listen, we here. We may have you back at some point. You know what I'm saying? We'll reach back out to you, see how you doing with your book, and see what else is going on in regards to the mental health situation, because we have a series on mental health. We've done bipolar, we've done narcissism, so on and so forth. So we deal with our people. If you've seen our show, you know how we had the NASA on here. Yep. We had a sister who's a rocket scientist. We got all type of stuff going on, sis. You know what I mean? We love our people. So, hey, just keep watch us when you can. Hey, do you have any social media you wanna put up, sis?
I have so many I can't even remember them all. I know Righteous Rhema is my main one. Righteous Rhema. I spell like writing. Had these in my book.
Oh
here.
yeah. Hold on.
So like Righteous Rhema on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Righteous Rhema. I also have a website, Righteous Rhema.
I feel like
I do like a video every day about narcissism, usually about narcissistic relationships.
Right.
Telling my story, what I came out of and everything, and church situations, jobs. So yeah.
Okay, yes. I see it. It's Righteous. WRITEOUSRHEMA, right?
That's right.
Righteous Rhema. Okay. All praise. What is the Rhema?
I'm sorry, you said what again?
You said what is the Rhema? RHEMA.
Rhema, it's like, there's like logos, which is like written word. Rhema is like a fresh, like revelation type word.
Okay, got it. Okay, there it goes, y'all.
Yeah.
All right, so that's her book, Escaping the Narcissist Pit. Right? And yeah, when we spoke to the brother, the narcissist, he was, it's rough character, rough cat.
Man.
Yeah, rough cat. We was like, damn, bro, you ain't right. All right. So sis, hey, listen, again, we appreciate you. Thanks for showing us that love, you know what I mean, and being gracious with your time. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day. All right, let's give it up for my sister.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Miss Mistye Quinn. All right.
There she goes.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you for
praises.
coming on to the show, sister. Again, we
Thank
do
you for
appreciate
having
you.
me.
All praises.
Everything is about identity with us, so please look into that.
Yeah.
You know, Lord's will, you
Hey,
can
no,
find
but you stayed on something right before you go, sis, because I know a lot of people was wondering where's the women at, right? For as many men that you see, it's probably double the amount of women.
Yes.
Yeah, we make sure to tell sisters that because they come up on the street to us and talk to us and they be like, wait a minute, y'all sound all right, but this is crazy. Like, where's all the women at? We be like, they're at the school. You come up in there, you're gonna be shocked.
There's tons of them.
You come up in there, you like, wait a minute, what the hell? That's what's going on here. Right. All the families is there. Everybody insists they professionals, sis. Don't get afraid. It's not like they sitting home just collecting checks all day from the government. Like it's not happening like that, sis.
Nah.
You know what I mean? It's real life. Entrepreneurs and lawyers and doctors is here. You know what I mean? We just letting you know because a lot of people really don't know about us, so they just see us from the outside. We just look like some thugs or whatever. Just came out of prison. It ain't like that, sis.
Nah.
Yeah, we stay fresh.
It's a whole bunch. Way more sisters than it is dudes, you know. So
yeah, absolutely. All right, sis. Hey, we just put it out there for you, sis. All right.
Thank you.
All right, my sis. All right, love you. All right, shalom. Most high Christ bless. All right,
shalom. Yeah, man. Another one like the other one. It was beautiful. You know.
Come on.
The sister learned a lot today. I think she's gonna do some research, man, and that's our goal, you know.
No, 100%, bro. You know, we that's what we trying to do, man. We trying to push the word, man.
Yeah,
you know, and just let people see, you know, when you come here with us, man, it ain't gonna be like we screaming at you all the time, like in the street. Hey, brother, shut your ass up. Yeah, don't talk, don't speak.
Read.
Yeah, that's what Homeboy was trying to say, right? When he was making them dumb videos. Right, like we screaming all day. No, we don't scream all day. Just half the day.
Yeah. We go out there. We gonna defend the gospel.
Oh yeah.
When we talking about God, we not out there today. We showing y'all something.
Right.
You know. But the scripture do tell us get Isaiah 1:18.
Mm-hmm.
A different setting, right? So guess what? When we in my house. My rules go. You know what I'm saying?
You can get that 5 to get on the board?
Nah, you got to get 10 to get on. But when we out there in the streets, we doing exactly what God tell us to do.
Right.
We going by his rules. He say, cry loud.
Right.
Spare not.
Right.
Lift up your voice like a trumpet. That's what all the representatives of God supposed to be doing. In the highways, in the hedges, compelling the people to come in. You know, so what you're seeing is biblical. Right. But in a different setting, look at this. Watch this.
Isaiah chapter 1 verse 18. Come now and let us reason together, saith the Lord.
Right.
Though your sins be as scarlet, they shall be as white as snow.
Right. So guess what? Though your sins be red as scarlet, they gonna be white as snow. Meaning you gonna repent after we reason together. After produce your strong cause, and then at the end all be all, we gonna open up the scriptures and let God be true and every man a liar.
Right.
You know. So
that's how it go. That's how it's supposed to go.
Oh yeah.
Scripture said, "If any man speak, let it be as the oracles of God."
That's
you know.
Yeah.
And then we do everything to edify. You know. So you may hear a brother yelling, but if you actually sat down and listened to what was coming out of that mouth that was yelling, you would understand.
That's what Paul said.
Right.
Though I be rude in speech, but not in knowledge.
That's it.
Right.
Bottom line. You know what I mean? And we know that's what most of our people think when they see us. They be like, man, these guys is rude and out of control. And because we rude, or it appears that we're rude, right, then they don't want to listen. But the other side of it is they know what we're saying is true, and they don't want to break off from the master.
Exactly.
You understand? And this is what we was talking about earlier, right? But making that agreement with death.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what we're doing as a people, y'all. That's what we're doing as a people. Right, give to us smooth things, man. Give me that Isaiah. We in Isaiah all day.
Yeah, let's get that.
Right.
Isaiah 30. Right? Speak unto us smooth things.
Yeah.
Exactly the spirit. Okay.
What a friend we have in Jesus. Sing along.
Yo, Cap, crazy, bro. Damn.
Read that
Isaiah
thing,
chapter 30, verse 9.
Come on.
That this is a rebellious people.
Go ahead.
Lying children. Children that will not hear the law of the Lord.
Children that will not hear the law of the Lord. That was brought out early as well. Right? Who brought that out? That they don't want to hear the law. That was you, right?
Yeah.
Yep. That same. Go ahead.
Which say to the seers, see not.
Right.
And to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things.
Exactly. Put that Bible away. Right? Put that Bible away. We don't want to hear nothing. Just tell me your own thoughts. No, we ain't doing that. Read.
Speak unto us smooth things.
Right. Tell us smooth things. Like what? Christmas is good.
Right.
That's what I meant to show my sister. I meant to show her the St. Nicholas, the real St. Nick.
Oh yeah, the
right?
Krampus.
Yeah. Right? No, I'm talking about the real St. Nick, the St. Nicholas. The prophet,
yeah.
Right? But to show her that. I forgot about that. Just that quick. Right? But speak unto us smooth things. Everybody can be saved. Come as you are and all that. No. Read.
Prophesy deceits.
Right. Oh, man. Go ahead.
Get you out of the way. Turn aside out of the path.
Go ahead.
Cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us.
Right. Cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Meaning what? The actual Christ is being taught in the Bible. Get that out of here.
Yeah.
Get us Caesar Borgia.
Yeah.
Get us him. This way we can have Christmas, Happy New Year's, right? Baby New Year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All that foolishness. Remember they had the Baby New Year? I don't know if y'all ever seen that. It was an old joint. He had a big ass ears. Yo, somebody find Baby New Year with the big ears, man. Yo, that was down with the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer in them. They had Baby New Year, bro. His ears was crazy big.
Oh, I know what you talk about.
That was the claymation joint.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Insane. All right. We had any more on that, bro?
That was verse 11.
All right, we cool with that. Hey, y'all, remember she said she had wanted to join the other group because they was wearing pink, right? Bring up number 6 before y'all bring up the Yo, bring up Baby New Year with his ears and his teeth. Yo, this is what y'all serving? Yo, come on, bring that up, man. Y'all playing games, man.
Bro.
Yo, you believe this?
Is that they sweet baby Jesus?
Look at baby. Yo, bruh. Look at his ears and his teeth. He was the new bro. They was waiting for him to come in. He was representing the new year.
Yeah,
wow.
Right.
Wow.
A nice Edomite with blue eyes and some blonde hair. Everything wrong with him. Red as hell with some yellow hair. Right. That's Baby New Year. But now, but look at Janice. I want y'all to take a good look at his hair. Right. Take a good look at that hair. Yo, bring up the picture of Janice.
Take a good look.
Janice.
Photographic memory. I hope y'all took a picture of that.
Janus. Yeah, bro. And then later on in the show, they had hit his ears. They put a big top hat on him, so his ears was covered. Yo, you can't make it up, bro. There's no way you can forget that. I seen that way back when I was a little kid. See, look at Janice.
Oh, snap.
Same here.
Big ear.
See?
And look at the ears.
Yep. Them ears, right. And they covered his ears on one side. They said, yo. Right? But this is Janice. This is who y'all this was representing January. That's where you get the term January from.
Yeah.
Right? With Janice. And what is he doing? He's looking back, and this other guy's the new year. He's looking forward. Right? So the old year's going out, the new year's coming in. The only problem with that is this ain't the new year.
Right.
The new year don't start until Abib, which is what? The ending of March going into April.
Right.
Springtime. Okay? This is madness what y'all dealing with. All right? So New Year's trash. All right? Hey, get what you call it? Bring up number 6, y'all. All right? Because she was talking about she had wanted to join this group because she loved the all pink. Maybe she said out of the pink that they was wearing, she had loved them, right? Go ahead, bring that up real quick. Quick little video of the pink crew. Rock that from the beginning, y'all.
And here's the reason why. Of all the towns around, I searched, no better group I found. So I joined them right away. And this I have to say.
See?
We are
Alpha, Kappa, Alpha.
Kappa Alpha. My pillow it felt like lead. My bed it felt like stone.
It's a lot of them.
I tossed and turned all night 'cause I wanted to belong. The
Hold on,
road was hard and
pause. They said, I tossed and turned all night because I wanted to belong. Right? Go ahead.
long, but AKA kept me strong, regardless of tears and pain. I do it all over again. We have tried, now we made it to AKA. An Alpha, Kappa Alpha, an Alpha, Kappa Alpha. The Deltas, the Sigmas, the Zetas, they constantly imitate us.
Hit pause. See? And they shooting shots at the other sororities.
Division.
Yeah. That's that division. Come on. What? They wanna be us. Yo, come on. Stop playing. But this is the crew that she originally wanted to get down with just because of the color pink.
Yeah,
Right?
that's how they do children, Cap. They point out some stuff that the children like.
Right.
And then they put so much hatred and crazy stuff behind it, mess up the spirit.
Right. Meanwhile, you getting into this, let's say you in the school and you seeing this, you like, damn, this look like something to belong to, right? It's a lot of sisters. You could be down and have a good little thing, not knowing that what? You got a damn Greek god connected to this thing right here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why nothing is see, you looking at it like it's just a little something to get along while you in school, but really this is straight up idolatry. This is idol worship right here, y'all.
That's what happens when you lose your nationality. It creates a vacuum.
No, 100%.
Yep.
And then look at the theme. They all look like slaves. All look like from back in the 50s.
Right.
50s. And nah, man, we know what y'all trying to do.
Yeah. Yeah, y'all faking.
You're faking it.
Yeah. We already belong to something.
Yeah.
Right.
We belong to the Most High God.
Yep. Y'all can drop that.
We got a land. We got a nationality,
Mm-hmm.
that we all unified in. If we just stick to that, it would be no need for that vacuum to gravitate us to gangs, politics, you know what I'm saying, fraternities, sororities. We join in all these other things looking to belong to something when we already belong. The Lord put a jersey on you that you can't take off. He put a hat on you you can't take off. You got that woolly hair. You got that brown skin. You got that big nose. You know what I'm saying? And big lip. You can't take it off. You can't hide amongst people. We already belong. So once we know that, that's why the Lord say, gather together, O nation not desired. And then you got give me Hosea 7 and 8. Because I mentioned some features of the southern kingdom, right? But we belong to a nation even larger than you even think. You know what I'm saying? The nation of Israel is way bigger than you think. We are not the minority. We the majority. And if they ever allowed us to know that, how could the weaker minority defeat us? It's a mental thing.
But it's beautiful. You said, I know you're getting ready to read something, but it's beautiful. You said what you went into. You said identity. We have one, right? So after you read that, we're going to bring something up. Hey, get video number 1. Go to 13 minutes after this scripture come out.
Hosea chapter 7 and verse 8.
This for my northern kingdom tribes. Watch this.
Ephraim, he hath mixed himself among the people. Ephraim is a cake not turned.
Ephraim has mixed himself among the people. So guess what? Colonization happened over there, right? They made breeders over there, made us marry their women or whatever. And now, if you have one dark-skinned brother marry a light-skinned, or let's say a dark-skinned brother, he marry a white woman. The child comes out, the features are a little different.
Right.
Now, what happened with colonization is say we mix ourselves among the people. It said Ephraim is a cake not turned. So on one side of that cake is going to be dark. The other side is going to be light. That's what you got with your northern kingdom tribes. You got a Cuban look dark as me. Then you got a Cuban that look light skinned as Christina Aguilera or something. You know what I'm saying? We come in all shades. Read on.
Strangers have devoured his strength, and he knoweth it not.
He don't even know that he's an Israelite. He think he have an identity. Northern Kingdom be messed up worse than us sometimes because they think they Mexican. They think they Cuban. They think they have a language. You know, we know that our stuff is gone. You know, they don't even know it. Read.
Yea, gray hairs are here, and they're upon him.
Yep.
Yet he knoweth not.
They get old and they never know that their identity was stolen. They never figure it out. It's our job to show them. So guess what? If you got black people, right? And then you got if you look at the continents, most of the continents are brown people, all brown people.
Right.
White peoples is a very small nation of people, but they run in the whole world.
Right.
Think about it.
Right. Through their gift, which is violence. Right.
Yep.
So, hey, y'all at minute 13? All right. Go ahead.
It is important to understand Satan's purpose in forming these societies from the beginning of education.
Pull it back a little bit, y'all. Pull it back just a little bit before 13. Right? Give it like a few seconds, about 10, 15 seconds, so this way we can hear what's going on.
Now, for non-believers or atheists or agnostics, none of this will really mean much to you because secularism goes hand in hand with the fraternal order paradigm, the New Age movements, and Luciferianism as well. But for those of us in Christ, it is important to understand Satan's purpose in forming these societies from the beginning of education through the minds and actions of wicked men. Not only to create a secret society social network or one world government consolidation system, but a way to monopolize the spirit of those in power, program the elite and its web of control to serve him and fulfill his bidding, share his desires and lusts, vanity and greed, and overall corrupt the minds and spirits of talented children of God, gifted believers in Christ, and ensure that anyone or any social institution in power would operate under his control and reverberate his doctrine. And most of all, live and function in complete disobedience to the Most High and his perfect word, righteousness, and truth. This is why frats and sororities require oath-taking, which is forbidden when one reads Matthew 5:34 and James 5:12. Branding is also required in many cases, which is also against the word of the Father stated in Leviticus 19:28.
Whoa, hit pause.
In many cases.
Okay. So, yeah, good. And this guy right here, I don't know what his religious background. I would imagine that he's Christian. I would imagine that, right? But he still went back to Leviticus 19 about branding yourself, right? About print on the body and all that. He did bring that out. Go ahead.
Cases, pledges are beaten, forced to draw blood, or involuntarily handled sexually. Some even die. Demonic activity like these are mere routines and customary in pledging processes of initiation, all which split the mind into dissociation, corrupting one's morals and dignity, breaking down their identity to rebuild a new one, destroying who they once were prior,
see that?
Forming a new corrupted spirit.
Stop,
like
hit pause, right? So the point is to do what? Get rid of the identity, right? Now, clearly, a lot of them don't know that they're Israel, right? But the point is to know that you're Israelite. That's what they did overall, not just in these fraternities, but the whole movement of Esau, period. Right? To break down your identity and form a new one, something that they could deal with better, right? Something they can deal with better. So that's how come our people, after we started going into these school systems and universities and everything, we had to find a way to be able to get along with this demon. So we allowed ourselves to do what? Strip down even the little identity we had then, which was just, okay, we were former slaves, and now we came out where we're so-called, whatever they were being called at the time, right? Afro-American or whatever, or just Africans or Negroes. We'll go with that. They stripped that down, and now they became what? Boule, right? Bourgeoisie. But it set them apart from the rest of their people and made them more palatable to the white man, the slave master.
Right.
In order for what? To get more gifts, right? But what does Scripture say about that? A gift destroyeth the heart.
Yep.
Right? And this is what it is. Y'all can drop that, but I just wanted to bring that out,
Yep. I like that in 2 Maccabees 6, right? We're talking about gifts, what you get.
That's right.
Right? So give me 2 Maccabees 6 and... No, 2 Maccabees 4. Give me 2 Maccabees 4 and... Start at 11.
2 Maccabees chapter 4 verse 11.
Right? This is what you get. And this is perfect because it's going with Greek fashions. Right? Read on.
And the royal privileges granted of special favor to the Jews by means of John, the father of Eupolemus.
So we figure we get a couple privileges. We get some royal privileges. We'll be above the lower class so-called Negroes, and we get along with our oppressors. Get a little royal privileges. Read.
Who went ambassador to Rome for amity and aid.
Amity and aid, help, service, so on and so forth. I might get a job. I get a little tax break, this, that, and the third, right? Read on.
He took away and putting down the governments which were according to the law.
So now we put away our old identity for enmity, aid, a little privilege, read.
He brought up new customs against the law.
Right. Now you see all these new customs. We're doing all these weird rites and ceremonies. And when you read on, it's going into, Greek fashions, everything. And that's all we see in the colleges.
Right.
Greek
right.
fashion.
The Greekish fashion. Yeah, absolutely. And that and just for y'all, Greekish fashion go way more than just clothing. It's the whole mentality.
Yeah, behavior.
Right? Because it talked about the Greekish fashions in the scriptures. It talked about that for what they put on that hat, right? The little yarmulke, little meat, whatever they had on their head, and that eventually turned into what? Baseball caps and so on and so forth. But not only that, but just the whole identity is destroyed. Right. So you look into in the Christianity world, right, where they pull out Galatians 3:28 and say it doesn't matter if you Jew or Greek. Not understanding that what the Greeks, that's our people. Yeah. That's not everybody, right? But at the time, but that's why I explained to sis that the Greeks, it kind of meant everybody at that time in that place because they were all under the auspices of the Greeks. But that don't mean that anybody who's called a Greek is going to be saved. No, to the Greeks that were Israelites. You know what I'm saying? The Greek-speaking Jews. That's what that was going into.
Exactly. Hellenized. There you
go.
Israelites.
There you go.
All over. Do we got the Zondervan back there that y'all could pull up? And you look up the term Grecian. If you don't got it, it's cool. If you don't got it, but I just wanted to show a definition there. It says exactly that, who the Greeks are, and it even got the scriptures in there that show you.
You should have that up there. We don't have that.
Yeah, that's fire right there.
Okay, he's bringing it up.
Yeah, look at the term Grecian in the Zondervan.
Hey,
right?
While he looking for that, Judah, you was talking about the gifts and about the aids and the royal, the semi-loyal treatment that you get for falling in line with these people, right? Yeah. But what they forget to tell the people is the stuff that they did to get that treatment. Go to Sirach chapter 10 and 9. Mm-hmm.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 10 and verse 9.
Come on.
Why is earth and ashes proud?
Why is people proud? Why is man proud? Come on.
There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man.
You see that? They get that, they want that stuff, and they obtain it through covetousness. Come on.
For such an one setteth his own soul to sale.
They sell themselves for that treatment. Come on.
Because while he liveth, he casteth away his bowels.
He cast away his bowels for that agreement. He cast away his soul and sold it for that agreement. That's the stuff that they forget to tell you. Right. There's no honor in that. There's no honor of being unmanned, getting your manhood unmanned. You know, I don't know how you say it.
Unmanned.
I don't know how you say it. However you word it. Yeah, that's not a good
battleship.
Damn. What'd you say, Judah?
He done sunk his battleship.
Yeah, he done sunk his battleship.
Yo, said he went up under the hood.
Yeah,
that's bananas right there.
Right, that's no way to obtain, to obtain.
You can't get it back.
You can't get that back, bro.
Yeah. I seen Terrence Howard talking about that. He said, ain't no way in the world, for no movie or no music deal, you gonna go over there and give up something that you can never get back.
Right.
You're never gonna receive it. It's never coming back.
He said, you can't give up your mind.
That is.
It was like, he was like, man, they don't know. I was getting ready to punch him in their mouth.
And I believe
mouth, man. Yeah, he was gonna definitely do it. Y'all got that?
Okay.
Not yet.
Let me get 2 Maccabees 6 and 1.
When y'all gonna get it?
2 Maccabees chapter 6 and verse 1. Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers.
You hear the topic? Greeks from Athens compelling Jews to depart from the laws of their
All
God.
praises. Yep.
Right? Read on.
And not to live after the laws of God.
Uh-huh.
And to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem.
Uh-huh.
And to call it the temple of Jupiter Olympus.
Uh-huh.
And that in Gerizim of Jupiter, the defender of strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in the place.
So now, guess what? Greek gods, give you Greek gods. Turn your temple into a temple of worship of Greek gods. Now turn your school into a temple of worship of Greek gods.
Yep.
For higher education.
Yep.
For amity.
Yep.
For aid. For
Yep.
assistance in a job. It's the same thing. Read on.
The coming in of the mischief was sore and grievous to the people.
We went headlong into it. Read.
For the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles,
right?
Who dallied with harlots.
There's a lot of fornication going on in the colleges, right? Read on.
And had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places.
Right.
And besides that, brought in things that were not lawful.
Right.
The altar also was filled with profane things, which the law forbiddeth. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days.
Here we go. Here we are today, right? Now they changing the laws of God. They don't want you to keep that. Now no more Sabbath day, read.
Right. Or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
So during this time, at the height of Greek fashion, if I could not call myself a Jew, I would be put to death for this, right? I couldn't keep the Sabbath. I would be put to death for this. What would I call myself? A Greek? A Grecian? That's what I would call myself. And when you take this history out of the Bible and then you give them Romans and Acts, you missed all this history of how we became Greeks. And you think Greeks is white people.
Right.
You missed the whole thing. It's so important why they took these books out of here.
Yep.
It's the link. It's the connector.
Yep.
Yeah. What we was doing.
Yeah, this is actually the Apocrypha is actually known as intertestamental, right? You can find that, right? Meaning the intertestamental text. What does that mean? Between the Old Testament and the New Testament.
Yes.
Right? So when you look that term up, you're going to find out you're going to have the Apocrypha, right? Which is a known thing. Don't go by, oh, it's not canon. That's something that some ridiculous, what they call them? Protestants, right? That's what they came up with, right? So that you don't read it.
Right.
Right? But we already know that the Apocrypha is good money, right? We got to talk straight to y'all. Yeah. It's good money. Why? Because the Feast of Dedication, which is found in Maccabees, is talked about in the book of John, chapter 10.
That's right.
Right? So if the Feast of Dedication was fake, then why is Christ keeping it as a high holy day?
Right.
Right? These are the things we got to understand, family. You know what I mean? These are the things we have to read and understand what it is that we're reading. So for any of y'all watching for the first time, it's called the Apocrypha or the Intertestamentals, right? Look that up. All right? Yo, bring that thing up. All right? This is Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, okay? This is the cover of it, okay? Go ahead.
Yeah, the definition is Grecians.
There you go.
Yes.
All right. Grecians were Greek-speaking Jews.
Wow.
Folk of the dispersion from areas predominantly Greek.
Oh,
and they put Acts chapter 6 and verse 1.
Yes, go to it.
Talking about
right. Hey, y'all leave that right there.
Yes, let's do it.
Leave that right there. This is very, very important, Acts chapter 6, because you mentioned something earlier about Hellenized, right? I love this scripture right here.
Acts chapter 6 and verse 1. And in those days, when the number of the disciples was multiplied, there arose a murmuring of the Grecians against the Hebrews.
Stop right there. A murmuring of the Grecians against the Hebrews. Go ahead.
Because their widows were neglected in the daily ministration.
I want y'all to keep that on the screen. Don't move it, right? What I want you to do is move me out of the way for a second.
Yeah.
Move me out of the way for a second, y'all. Read from the top where it says Greece.
Yes.
Greece. Grecia is Greece, the home of the Hellenes.
Right, the home of the Hellenes, right? Go ahead.
Greeks and Grecians,
right,
however, are to be distinguished.
Stop. It says the Grecians, however, are to be distinguished, meaning there's different types of Greeks.
Right.
Go ahead.
Greeks are generally those of Hellenic race.
Of Hellenic race. Go ahead.
But the word may be used to indicate non-Jews.
Whoa. The word may be used to indicate non-Jews, meaning what? That when you see Greeks, you're talking about the Jews. It's telling you right here in the Christian
Yes.
Zondervan Bible Dictionary is telling you that when you see the word Greek, you should be thinking Greek-speaking Jew.
Yes.
Folks of the diaspora, the ones that were dispersed, the ones who were talked about in Deuteronomy 28:64 that they would be dispersed all over the world. That's who you're supposed to be thinking about.
Hey, Cap, looky here, right?
Yeah.
It's Greeks are generally those of the Hellenistic race, right?
Right.
Example, Acts 16:1.
Right.
18:4.
Right.
John 12:20. Let's
Right.
get Acts 16:1, and they
Hold
giving.
on. We're going to get 16:1. Let me explain Acts chapter 6 and verse 1.
Yes, sir.
Because a
Yes,
lot of
sir.
people read that, y'all might not really understand what that's saying, right? When it says here that the Grecians, that there arose a murmuring of the Grecians against the Hebrews because their widows were neglected in the daily ministration. What it's talking about is that there was a fund set up for the widows and the fatherless children. Okay. Now, why would the white Greeks be arguing with the Hebrews about that? Right? They wouldn't, because they'd be getting taken care of by Greece. The Israelites had their own thing going on, their own fund. So the Grecians, meaning what? The northern kingdom of Israel, or the Hellenized Greeks that you're reading about here in this definition, the Greek-speaking Jews, they were known as the Greeks here, or the Grecians here in verse 1. They were going and saying to the southern kingdom, Judah, how come you're not taking care of us?
Right.
You giving all the bread to them. We need it for our people as well, right? But of course, remember, Judah and Israel, the nation of Israel or the northern kingdom, weren't dealing with each other, right? So that's where the beef was. That's where the drama's coming at. Okay, there was a murmuring saying, yo, they not taking care of us, although they know that we're their people. Okay, so that's what Acts 6:1 is going into. All right, please leave that on the screen. Don't move that at all. Go ahead. 16:1 now, right?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Yep.
It's the book of Acts, chapter 16 and verse 1.
Here goes some examples
This is
of
beautiful.
Hellenized Greek-speaking Jews. Watch this.
Then came he to Derbe and Lystra, and behold, a certain disciple was there, named Timotheus, the son of a certain woman, which was a Jewess, and believed, but his father was a Greek.
A Hellenized Greek-speaking Jew.
Right.
He gave you the example right there.
Right. A Greek-speaking Jew, right? And this is why we got to understand, because people will say, well, Timothy wasn't an Israelite because his father was a Greek. His father was an Israelite.
Yes.
His father was a Greek-speaking Jew.
Yes.
Okay? Read verse 3. 16.
Verse 3. Him would Paul have to go forth with him, and took and circumcised him because of the Jews which were in those quarters.
Why?
For they knew all that his father was a Greek.
And if his father was a Greek-speaking Jew, according to what we read in 2 Maccabees chapter 6, he wasn't able to be circumcised because they were not circumcising anymore.
Right.
That's why he had to take him and be circumcised so that the people would know that Timothy was for real.
Right.
Okay, y'all? It's that simple. That's what they say the simplicity in Christ, meaning what? Blessed is he that readeth.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Hey, the Apocrypha is the connector to understanding the
Yes.
entire Bible. Read Acts 18:4.
That's the other one they call?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay.
It's right there.
Acts chapter
Then
18.
get Galatians.
Right. Go ahead.
and drop
Acts
the bomb.
chapter 18, verse 4. And he reasoned in the synagogue every Sabbath, and persuaded the Jews and the Greeks.
Oh, so those are Greek-speaking Jews that they talking about.
Right.
The Jews and Greeks. So
Hey,
now,
listen, man. Next time, make sure y'all bring this up when the sister was on here, man. This is crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? This where y'all got to be at. Y'all mind got to be at with it, because these are things that she needed to see. We're gonna send her this though. This stuff right here. Make sure y'all put this to the side, clip it, and give it to and put it to the side for Sister Sherry. Let her send it to Sis. She needs to see these things. All right. But that's heavy. And he reasoned in the synagogue every Sabbath and persuaded the Jews and the Greek-speaking Jews.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
now,
that shows you
right, go ahead.
everybody wasn't there.
Exactly.
Everybody wasn't there.
Right. And they're calling them Greek-speaking Jews. Why? They were first of all, let's clear something else up. The term Jew was talking about the nation of Judah.
Right.
Right, which is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. But Jew was also used to include all 12 tribes.
Yep.
Right? Because they knew Judah was the head. So they would just call everybody a Jew. Okay? So that's why it's called Greek-speaking Jew. Okay? Ah, boy.
Galatians 3:28.
Damn.
Now it all makes sense. Now
Right.
it all makes sense.
It's the book of Galatians, chapter 3 and verse 28.
Uh-huh.
There is neither Jew nor Greek.
It don't matter if you a Southern Kingdom Jew or a Hellenized Israelite that wasn't able to circumcise,
Right.
wasn't able to call yourself a Jew,
Wasn't keeping
a-
no commandments.
it don't matter. When Christ came, that don't matter no more.
Right.
There is neither bond nor free.
Uh-huh.
There is neither male nor female.
Uh-huh.
For ye are all one in Christ Jesus.
So now we know that that's not talking about everybody.
Right.
Right.
It's talking about Jews and Hellenized Israelites.
Right.
How crazy is that this Zondervan Bible Dictionary is telling the people that the Bible is not for you?
That's what it's saying.
It's for the Israelites only. That's really what's being said here. Look at the top. It was so crazy what it says up there. The home of the Hellenes, Greeks, and Grecians, however, are to be distinguished. Greeks are generally those of Hellenic race, but the word may be used to indicate non-Jews, foreigners, and aliens. Letting you know that when you see this, you can't get over this right here.
Nah, you can't.
This is crazy. Letting you know in the Bible, when you see Greek, think Israel.
Right.
And then maybe it's talking about the others sometimes.
Yeah.
Like in the case of Philip the Macedonian and Alexander and
Joel 3 as well.
Right, yeah, Joel 3. But I'm just saying, as far as the New Testament is concerned, right? Was it Felix?
Yes, sir. Yeah, Felix.
Felix and what's the other one? I'm forgetting that Paul was talking to and all that. Festus.
Yes.
Festus is who I'm thinking about. Festus and somebody else who I'm missing.
Agrippa.
Yes. Those are the real white Greeks who are actually Amalek too. Let's not forget about that, because they're related to Herod and all that. Right. That's how that whole thing started. So today you'll see people say, "Oh, a lot of the Italians and the Greeks aren't." It seems like they're related to the Jewish people. They are. It's the same people. It's the same people. 100%. Because when Rome and all that was in control, they had them over Israel, over Judea. That's how Herod was the king of Judea. His people are what? Amalek. All right? Ah, boy. Oh, hey, man. Listen.
That was some good stuff, man.
Yeah, man. I just got frustrated. I wish he would have been here to see it. But again, listen, make sure y'all put this to the side, man. Put these little things to the side. We got to send to our sis, man. She needs to see these things, man. You know? But yeah, we gonna leave it there, y'all. Real talk. Hey, that was excellent stuff, man.
That was some real good
excellent stuff, man.
What's good?
Hey, the Booster Club, so we can recover all the Greeks. That's what we're looking to do. The Isaiah 11:11 project, where we will recover all the Greeks dispersed throughout the earth. Yes. All right? That's the Greeks that we going for. Y'all know what the hell it is. All right? All praise to the Most High. Y'all send what y'all can. All right? We're going to use that for airfare, using that for food, using that for lodging. All right? And take care of the people out there as well, right? To set up the schools in order for them to start getting their learning together and getting our people gathered up and to hear the law once again. All right? Great things going on throughout the earth right now with IUIC. All praises. All right, save a couple dollars for the Nehemiah squad. You know what I'm saying? Throw us a couple bucks. All right, that's the QR code. Hit that up on your PayPal, iuic.norcal@israelunite.org. All right.
Next.
Okay. All right, so we got a show called From Broken to Aligned, when healing leads to purpose, and our special guest is Miss Amber White. All right, she's going to be going into some heavy stuff that she had to I don't want to give y'all too much. Let's say she had to do a little bit of whistleblowing, you know what I mean? And but yeah, it's going to be an interesting show. Make sure y'all here. That's all I can tell you. Just make sure y'all hear Miss Amber White. All right, she's an author as well, has a book. And we're going to get all into it. Should be good.
It's going to be great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's going to be great. All right. The Nehemiah Squad. Yes, you're watching it. All right. Like, share, subscribe. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, X, which is Twitter. Why does everybody keep saying that? Everybody should know by now X is Twitter. But everybody keeps saying it still. X is, which is Twitter, because that name is dumb. X is kind of dumb. I don't know why did they change it from Twitter anyway? Yeah, it made sense. It was tweeting. They had the bird and all that. It made sense. All right, whatever. Anyway, y'all, Mondays, 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. All right, y'all tune in, share. Like I said, comment and comment on the comments. All right. Yo, that's it, y'all. Hey, Officer Shem, bro, take us out.
Man, look here. You already know what time it is.
Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 21.
Come on.
Then I testified against them and said unto them, why lodge ye about the wall? If ye do so again, I will lay hands on you.
Check this out. If you do this thing again, we got to lay hands on you. If you don't donate to the Booster Club, we got to lay hands on you. And Esau, if you keep on trying to bring our people into your fraternities, get them to worship idol gods.
Right.
Guess what? The Lord, he going to use us to lay hands on you. This is the show. This is the Nehemiah Squad.
Yo.
We are your hosts. I'm Officer Shim. That's Captain Zaccai. That's Officer Judah. We out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Most High in Christ bless y'all. Shalom.
I don't need a reason, I need a script. I don't need your grievance, keep it to yourself. It's better for my health, leave it on the shelf. Ain't hearing nothing else. Tonight and tonight, knowing the price, pay it off with my life. Till it's out with your lights.